You are watching the Vodka stream.
Yes, you are all watching the Vodka stream. So funny, too. I guess that's fitting. Ray Porter doing the Darkseid voice, since we're going to be doing some Darkseid talking tonight. And it's actually cool, too, because I had YouTube on my TV because I was like watching a podcast, or I was watching podcasts. And Ray Porter did a commercial for Audible because he narrates the Project Hail Mary book. And it was cool. I was like, oh, man, look at, there's Ray. There's good old Ray. We love some Ray. What's happening, guys? Welcome to the Vodka stream. Let's have some fun. Pour yourself a drink. It doesn't have to be alcoholic. It could be whatever you want it to be. I just prefer vodka and soda. That's what it is. Simple. That's about it. So cheers. I know I should probably add to it. I was putting limes and lemons in there, but that takes work. I'm going to throw a kiwi in there next time. What's happening, guys? How we doing? How was your week? What is going on? We got Droga right here. Just got done watching 2 episodes of Malcolm in the Middle revival, and it was really funny. Yeah, I never really got into Malcolm in the Middle. I'm not going to lie. I've watched episodes, but I've never really, dove into it as much. It's fine, but maybe I have to I still have to watch the Scrubs revival. I know that's coming out weekly. That show I got into, so I need to watch that revival. Maybe I'll do that this weekend because I ain't going nowhere this weekend. Last couple weekends, it just seems like I've just been busy with stuff. But I got nothing going on this weekend. Last weekend was crazy. So, but good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But I'd have to revisit the entire series before I'd have to watch the revival. Monique, what's happening? Hello, happy Friday to you. Pan-fried pork chops, buttered green beans, fig and honey loaf with butter. Oh, always making us hungry. Always making us hungry. I just, cooked up a ribeye tonight. Had an avocado, some kimchi. Trying to be good to the gut. It's all about that gut health, Obviously some eggs too, that was like my whole thing. So that was my dinner. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy and everything. But Ghoul, what's happening? Currently watching you on the phone and Artemis stuff. Oh yeah, they just landed. So congratulations to the Artemis crew. They have landed, guys. That's right. Cheers to the Artemis crew. Yeah, I saw that the parachutes opened, so it should be good. So cheers to the Artemis crew. I mean, it's cool. I mean, yeah, they just took a trip. They took a trip, went around the moon, took some pictures. We got some good stuff. And yeah, good stuff. And then they came back. I don't know what the next mission is going to be. Are we going to actually try to fucking, play golf on the moon again or something like that? Maybe. Arwix, what's happening? Looking forward to D&D. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got the Punisher One Last Kill trailer that's going to be... It's so weird, though, because obviously I used the poster because, again, I mean, this week was not too crazy when it came to news. Obviously, when it came to DCU stuff, there's some things, of course, but I was going, oh, man, I didn't see a movie this week because, it was funny. Scott and I talked about this on DC Fanimated stream because we always do movie talk at the end after we discuss the episode. We always do movie talk, and we always talk about what movies we're going to see. And this week it's just not really anything. There's not really anything. Mario movie come out last week, and this week is not really much. But the next few weeks, there's stuff to watch. And I was thinking about going to see the drama because I'm curious about the drama. But then I was like, you know what? I got to catch up. On my TV streaming watching, and I did. I caught up on Daredevil, so I'm going to give my reviews on the last on updated review on what's going on with Daredevil. And then I watched The Boys, not realizing they debuted 2 episodes. Why do they do this? yeah, they debuted one episode, and then I was like, oh shit, there's a whole episode. I didn't have time because I watched. Yeah, I was like, fuck. So I watched the first episode of season 5 of The Boys. So, but yeah, I was like debating on going to the movies, and I was like, you know what? I'll catch the drama when it comes out. When it comes out on streaming or whatever the heck, or rent it, or I don't know. I'll do something. But I did want to see it, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save some money. Times are a little rough. Let's just face it. Times are a little rough. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save a little money and not drive to the movie theater, spend some time, and usually I get a beer. You know how it is. Anyways, but the Punisher trailer. Oh man, Frankie. Antonio, what's happening? Good to see ya. We got Fear Jason right here too. We got Taladia as well. Taladia will be joining the panel, of course. Kev, what's happening? Good evening. It's a pretty interesting profile picture. I like it. My ex would actually really like that profile picture. She's a Patriots and Superman fan. So, hoy, Mr. Jason McKenzie. Always great to see you, my friend. We got Hunter. What's going on? The Darkseid nonsense are out of control. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm going to talk about. Happy Friday. Not my Darkseid. Hey, let's go Dodgers. Hey, the Giants won. The Giants are on a winning streak. Look at that. They are on a 3-game winning streak. And I got the big inning playing right now on the MLB app on my TV. So yeah, the Dodgers just started playing the Rangers at home. So we'll see what happens with that game. But I was like, man, it's been a rough start to the season. But the Giants are showing life. What's going on, Matt? The Dark Side is from a ride, yes, where the actual Supes and Supergirl, the ones from the movies. Yeah. This is what I'm going to bring up right here, too. This is what I'm going to bring up right here. Because I even said this on Twitter, and I was like, and of course, it doesn't have a profile picture. The excuse is, they are using the costumes and everything from the movies, even though, it doesn't even look like David Cornsweet or her. They're just kind of using the logos and everything. So naturally, it's like, oh yeah, well that's what Darkseid's gonna look like. It's gonna look exactly like that, just like Superman and Supergirl are gonna look exactly like they do in the movie. So, anyways, nice to join there, Matto, whatever. Watcher, what's happening? I had to get caught up on some anime. There you go. Some anime. Hey, look at that. Almost at 69, dude. Whoa. Well, you know what that means, Jose. That means we'll talk later. Nobody likes the Dodgers, except if you live in SoCal. Yeah, that's right, Ghoul. And I didn't realize that your team, Ghoul, Tigers, they had Jensen. They had Jensen, who just tied for 3rd overall saves tonight. Just a little baseball talk. But yeah, Jensen, who was once a Dodger, and he I can't remember his first name. I can't remember, but Jensen, he's been around for a bit. He's been bouncing around. He was a Dodger for a good amount, and then he blew some saves for them. But he just tied for 3rd overall saves in his career of all baseball. So I'm trying to remember his freaking first name. Totally blanking. Devin, what's happening? Hey, David, just watched Aquaman. Love that movie. Do you have a favorite scene? The trench scene is the best scene. That was James Wan doing James Wan things, and it was just beautiful, dark and beautiful. And then he got that suit at the end. That was a good scene too. Rewatched the final trailer from the movie. The score was crazy. Yeah. Dodgers becoming the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, it's a little, but we'll see what happens. If they three-peat, it's the end of baseball. Hope there's some James Bond news at Cineacon. Yeah, Cineacon's happening next week. Cineacon. I know Warner Brothers is going to be having some Supergirl stuff. There's even hints that maybe they might show a Clayface teaser. I'm not getting my hopes up. Again, Cineacon is not really, it's not like the other cons. So if people will talk to my DD episode 40. Yeah, it was. Good Lord. And so was episode 3. There was a one-shot in episode 3 of craziness. Verlander is injured and he's out for a while. He was supposed to make his debut. He injured himself. Yeah, he's an old man. I mean, he's like a few months older than me. You know, and it takes its toll. I mean, I'm not a baseball player, but so I just sit here and talk shit. I keep my youthly vibe, keep my body in check by just talking shit about movies and fucking superheroes. I'm not out there trying to pitch 90 pitches a fucking game. It's all right. He's all right. He married a supermodel, the swimsuit model, Kate Upton, fucking made babies with her, and so he's fine. But yeah, they hate us because they ain't us. Yeah, we hate you because you have too much freaking money. Whole movie should have been Aquaman versus the Trench. Yeah, which it probably wanted to be. Don't know if it's just my phone, but I could hear the stream. Is your settings okay? But I can't hear stream. I don't know. I think it might be your phone. I don't know. Everything good, guys? Seems like nobody else is talking about not hearing the stream. So I didn't hit mute on the mic, so we're good. Still got caught up in I got to catch up on Invincible too. That's one of the things. Like I said, I'm not going anywhere this weekend. It's supposed to rain this weekend, so perfect just to be like, all right, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna work on some things. I'm gonna do some things that I've been putting off, like my taxes. Fucking tax season. Oy, stream's good. All right, thank you, Jason. Appreciate you. But yeah, I got to do my taxes and just some other things I want to do, and clean up the office / studio. Do a deeper clean than just wiping things down and wiping the floors and stuff like that. So yeah, gonna have one of those weekends. But yeah, I also want to catch up. Probably catch up on some Invincible. I'll watch that second episode of The Boys and be fully caught up on that. So yeah, should be a good weekend. But anyways, yeah, Daredevil. Yeah, like I said, with last week when they had 2 episodes, I was like, crap, I'd only watched 1. So yeah, we didn't do much Daredevil talk last weekend on the last Friday on the Vox stream, but now that I've all caught up, yeah, I mean, we might do some talking. So we'll let you know, because we'll probably talk about some spoilers. I won't talk about spoilers right offhand, but great little one shot. There's a one shot sequence that does happen in episode 3, right? Yeah, and it's funny because I see people complain that there's not enough Daredevil, and I'm like, well, anytime there is Daredevil, though, it's fucking amped up. And I don't know about you, but again, freaking Charlie Cox, he must have just bulked up another 10 pounds or so, 10, 12 pounds. The dude is fucking even like some of the people that were working on the show, I think one of the showrunners even said like, oh yeah, Charlie Cox, I almost called him Matt Murdock. Charlie Cox, he got in to extra shape. I mean, he's always been in good shape, obviously, but it just seems like he put on another 10 pounds or so when it comes to this season. Of course, we get him shirtless, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, dude. I'll have what he's having. But even in the suit, though, and the suit is just so freaking beautiful. I mean, he just looks like a fucking beast. And yeah, so I get it. There's a lot of pieces when it comes to this story. There's a lot of pieces. I've never been all keen about the BB report thing, whatever the hell. Never really liked that. I think that's just remnants from what was already established before, and they decided to keep it. And I'm not really all about that portion of the show. I'm just it's whatever. But at the same time, I'm okay with there's a lot of pieces that are happening. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in this season, and yeah, a lot of twists and turns, and then of course just the way it should end. But yeah, I'm enjoying season 2 of Daredevil Born Again for sure. So cheers to that. And then of course The Boys. Like I said, I didn't watch episode 2, but I watched episode 1. I will say I was a little disappointed because the season opened kind of not crazy. It was a little tame. I'm not gonna lie. Anybody else feel like that? If you watch the season premiere of The Boys, it was a little tame. But I get it. Not every season's gonna start off and just be like, holy shit. But it's still cool. And then slightly spoilers, but not really. Kimiko, she can talk now, so we get to hear her talk. And it's funny too because it's a little weird because and she's got a potty mouth and everything like that. But we hear Kimiko actually talk, and we actually hear what's the actress's name? Karen something or whatever the hell. But anyways, I'm trying to remember her name. But she could actually talk now. But it's just kind of funny because I saw a tweet where somebody was like, "Oh, you could rate it on Letterboxd? Cool. I got to catch up. I see that's another thing I got to do this weekend. I was going to make it a point to keep up with my Letterboxd, and I have not kept up with it. So I'm going to tackle my Letterboxd this week. So hopefully follow me on Letterboxd. Just type in Film Junkie, you'll find me. I got to keep up with that because obviously I'm Film Junkie. I talk about films. I should be keeping up with Letterboxd. That's one thing I should be 100% keeping up on, but yeah, it's funny just to hear Kimiko and the boys like actually talk and everything. And I saw a tweet that somebody said that they were disappointed that she talks like an American. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's how she actually talks. It was just kind of one of those things where I think they were trying to be progressive, but then it comes out racist because wait, you just assume that she's Asian, so she's going to have an accent. It's like, no, that's not how she talks. Anyways. And of course they explain it too, but maybe that was part of it. But I remember seeing that. And I'm like, oh, I bet you people are just like totally dogpiling that tweet right there because she does explain that how she learned to talk was kind of through like speech coaches and TikTok. So it was kind of funny. So pretty funny. Anyway, so there you go. Is Homelander finally going to snap this season and lose his mind? Yeah, it looks like he is losing his mind. At least from the first episode, he's just not happy. He's definitely not happy. And everybody is so freaking scared. So freaking scared of that dude. So there you go, guys. There you go. What's going on there, Raw? Good to see you. All right. Dive into a couple of things. A couple of controversies, I guess you could say. I don't know. Me out there in the Twitter sphere, just kind of, I don't know. Like I'm not holding back. I'm just not holding back when it comes to certain things. That's for damn sure. So I'm not holding back. And the first thing I wanted to talk about, because now, yes, Man of Tomorrow, it's going to officially start production. What do they say? It's going to be in a couple of weeks, few weeks, right? Officially a few weeks. And of course, with the whole Maxima, and everybody's wondering if Maxima, is it going to be Wonder Woman? There's that whole thing. I have my theory that it's both, that Maxima and Wonder Woman are going to show up in the movie. I kind of have that theory that the whole thing of like them meeting with actresses, it's kind of like they're going, yeah, we're gonna have Maxima. She's gonna be part of the story, but we're also gonna be casting our Wonder Woman as well. That's my theory. Some people are just saying it's a cover-up. Some people are saying it's just an absolute cover-up that the whole Maxima news is actually for Wonder Woman. I think maybe there would be a little bit of both. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. But so there was that whole thing. But, naturally, and again, the same old arguments just get recycled over and over again because, again, people just chronically live online and their whole personality, their whole absolute personality is just all about the discourse and everything. And it's just funny because, I just laugh and just poke fun. And I'm kind of just doing that a little more. I did that a little bit more this week. And, it's just whatever. It's whatever because it just gets absolutely ridiculous how everything is when it comes to all that. But the big thing, of course, was because when I posted, I saw a tweet where somebody said, like, James Gunn can't make a solo Superman film. And I went, no, he can't. Oh, I think he can if James Gunn was actually instructed to just, hey, make a solo Superman film with just Superman characters. He could do it because he is a storyteller. He can absolutely do it. But the fact that he is running things, he has the choice not to. And he does. He's all about the ensemble. That's his specialty. And that's what's worked. And so naturally, it's like, okay, yeah. So when it comes to Man of Tomorrow, it's going to have even more heroes than even Superman had, which of course people are just like, it's not even the first one's not even a Superman movie. And it's funny because you look at the screen time of all the characters. Superman, of course, has the most, and then Lois Lane, and then Lex Luthor, and then the Justice Gang. The Justice Gang, they're like in it for like, it's so funny because everybody makes it seem, they do that hyperbole thing, like they make it seem like they're throughout the whole movie, and it's like, no, literally they're in it for like, if you added it all up, they're like 7-8 minutes. Crazy to think about, but it's like, yeah, they're just in certain scenes that don't last that long. But Superman, of course, it's like, yeah, it's not a Superman solo film, it's a Superman centric film with already heroes existing, which I was all for. Because, yeah, guys, if you want a solo Superman film, you have 6 of them to watch. We've seen it 6 times. Okay, I think there's 8 Batman solo films without any other heroes or characters. Okay, they weren't going to do that again, which I was glad for. I was so happy that I was like, oh, this is already going to be, we're not going to see the origin story. This is a Superman that's already established, but he's still kind of learning trying to find his place, and there's already other heroes that exist. I was like, sweet, we're not doing that again. Thank God. But of course, just because people have that James Gunn derangement syndrome, that they have to push back on that. And then of course, you know, when I saw that tweet that said he can't, I was like, yeah, but if you're going to have Man of Tomorrow have this world event, this invasion from Brainiac, the same people would be like, where are the other heroes? If it was just Superman and not the Justice Gang or anybody else, it was just Superman, people would be like, where are the other heroes? And you know why that is? Because of the Avengers. That's why. Ever since the first Avengers movie, people have been going, wait a minute, when it comes to the solo movies after it, I remember people said that when it came to Iron Man 3, when it came to Captain America, even though Captain America Winter Soldier did have other characters, you know, it had Black Widow and it had Nick Fury, but I mean, I guess, you know, like, hey, where's Iron Man? Where's Thor? Where's the Hulk? Some people were saying that, and it's so funny because I'm like, yeah, we're in 2026, where if you have a universe, you're just going to have other characters that are going to be a part of that universe now. There's no holding back. There's no holding back that anymore. And that's why I was like, good, we're going into the DCU with already established universe. So now we can have these other characters already ready. And it's funny too, because, you know, the pushback I was getting when it came to all this, because of course you get like these fucking half-assed fucking responses, pushback, which are just fun. The first one, this is one of my favorite ones that I was getting pushback on. Well, it's been shown many times in comic books. Comic books, you know, Brainiac, Superman, it's been shown many times. It's just them, okay? Why can't they do that in the movies? Oh, comic books come out every week. That's 52 times a year. How many times does a Superman movie come out? You tell me, okay? We're lucky that we're actually getting a Superman 2 years from the last Superman. So yes, we're not going to just, no, this has got to be, no other heroes. We got to just have it. No, what did Zack Snyder say a long time ago when we had him on the Real Anarchy stream? For the first time, we got him on live stream. Fire all your bullets. Fire all your bullets. That's what Zack did the second time around. And then, of course, you know, I was even having people like, Man of Steel was, what are you talking about? Man of Steel, that was a world event. That only had Superman. I went, oh, God, here. Oh, yes, you hit the thumb with the hammer on that one. Yes, Man of Steel was a solo Superman film that had a world event that happened. But it was the first fucking movie of that universe. There was nothing established yet. Okay, when it comes to Superman, literally right in the opening with text, it says the metahumans exist. Okay, the Justice Gang already exists. There's already heroes that exist. Superman's been around for 3 years. Man of Steel, that wasn't the case. That wasn't the first fight. But then it's kind of funny too, because I go, hey, you realize though, but in the next movie, we find out that during that final fight in Man of Steel, there's that one dude who dresses up like a bat at night. He was running around the streets during that time. So he was there. What the fuck? He was there. We find out that Wonder Woman walked away from humanity. And then we can go down the list. Apparently, the Martian Manhunter just stayed in his human form in Man of Steel. Now that we found out that Swanwick was Martian Manhunter, and if you want to go by the Flash continuity, if you want to say that that's part of the continuity of the Snyderverse, which I know nobody wants to do that. I mean, technically, Barry Allen was at that fucking event too, the Zero event also, but I know some people are, we're not counting that. Okay, fine. Well, we'll just assume that Barry didn't get his powers yet. Of course, Cyborg was not around. Aquaman, he was staying in he wasn't going to help. Fuck no, he wasn't going to do that. See, that's the thing. I would even say that even if Zack were to do a Man of Tomorrow movie, a solo, technically the official Man of Steel sequel, and had Brainiac, you don't think that he wouldn't have the other heroes join in? I mean, it was his idea to bring in Batman. It was his idea. He threw that idea out there on the table. He laid out that Batman dick right on the table to be like, hey, what about Batman? Let's bring in Batman. You don't think with everything? I mean, he's even said, again, because I listened to Zack when he's on podcasts, he wanted to tell a Superman story that had all these other heroes that were already there too. He literally fucking said that. So James Gunn is just doing that right from the get-go. It's like, yeah, there's a world, we already have a universe, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was just, yeah, it's just so funny. Like, yeah, and then I even had some dumbass who even said, like, it was like, oh yeah, so by your logic, every DC character should show up in the movie. And I was like, oh yeah, because that's what I said. Again, I love the hyperbole. I love it. Hyperbole. I just fucking love it. And I'm like, no, only the ones that have been established, only the ones that exist. And then when people were like freaking out, like, you can't tell a story without that. Okay, that's fine. That's why we got 3 other projects that aren't going to have his ensemble storytelling. Okay, Supergirl is not going to be an ensemble. Yes, Superman's going to be in it, but hey, it's a fucking cousin. He's going to be in it. Yeah, fine. For the most part, it's a Supergirl movie that's not going to be like an ensemble. Yes, Ruthie is part of it. Yes, Lobo is part of it, but it's not going to be this group. It's not going to be like a bunch of fucking people showing up. I don't think there's going to be a Lantern that's going to be showing up. Okay, I think it's going to be fine. And then you got Lanterns, which I don't think anybody besides a Lantern is going to show up in that movie. I don't think Mr. Terrific is going to be showing up in that show, not movie, series. And then Clayface. Do you think that fucking Guy Gardner's going to show up to goddamn Clayface? No. Let's relax. Jesus. Ugh. So crazy, man. So crazy. But it's just funny to see that. And it was just funny to see that. And then it's funny, too, because I brought up this when somebody was like, brought up the whole fact that Man of Steel was a solo Superman movie, which I was like, whoa, watch out, buddy. Look at your logic. Hello. And I found this kind of funny, too, because I brought this up because, man, when it came to that original, when it came to the DCEU, when it was establishing, when Man of Steel already came out, when BVS was about to come out, and then they were already thinking about, all right, we're establishing more. When it came to that Aquaman movie, you know what one of the original concepts was when it came to that Aquaman movie? They were going to have a big fight at the end where Orm was going to invade the surface, and it was going to be in Sydney, Australia. And guess who was going to join the fight? Batman and Superman. That's right. Batman and Superman, the Flying Fox. And then there's Superman right there. Oh, I should point right here. Flying Fox, Superman right there. That was going to be part of the original concept. at one point, because at the same time, it's like, yeah, if you're going to have a world event happen and you already have a Superman and a Batman out there, why the fuck would you not have them involved? Why would you not have them involved? If you're going to have something, and Aquaman ended up being more so of like, you know, the story ended up being more of like, hey, this is all about Atlantis. So you didn't, of course, you're not going to have any of the other characters. But if you're going to have something crazy like this, which was on the table at one point when it came to Aquaman, yes, they were going, okay, if this is going to happen, Superman and Batman are going to be involved. And that makes sense. And I remember when that all came out and everybody was like, whoa, why didn't that happen? And now that we're having stuff like that, but it's James Gunn, so fuck that shit. Like, it's just funny how everything is right now and the hypocrisies out there. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing anyways? So that was one thing. But then, well, let me take a drink before we dive into this one. We got our first look at the DCU Darkseid. No, we didn't. We did not get a first look at the DCU Darkseid. It's the latest thing right here. So, and I knew it too. As soon as I saw the shot, I went, "Oh man, that's gonna add. They just threw some ammunition for the whole discourse that's happening right now." And I was like, great. Just great. So, oops, let's see here. Right, yeah, there we go. So basically what's happening, so Jimmy Guns, he posted the other day, if I can even freaking find it, I don't think I can find it anyways. So we have the Superman Experience Defenders Unite that is going to be opening up on the Warner Brothers lot on April 18th, which is Superman Day. Okay. And so here, if you didn't know about this, here is the poster for it. A new immersive experience. So you're going to wear some 3D glasses. You're going to be able to do punchy punchies, whatever the fuck, this, that, and this. And then, yes, they're using the new Superman logo, the Superman costume. There's Krypto and everything like that. So, yeah, even though that's like, wow, that doesn't even look like Corn Sweat. What are you guys doing? So we had that, and we have a little trailer too. There's a little trailer, which of course, you know, these guys totally ripped apart. And this is what I don't understand. I mean, are you that miserable? Are you that like just so miserable? So just, you got such a chip on your shoulder that you're just going to rip apart this trailer. The demographic is kids. It's children. But it's funny because I even had one of these guys go like, yeah, but you know adults are going to go too. Yeah, sure, 100%. But it's targeted to children. And I saw people with YouTube channels, and you guys know who I'm talking about, just rip this apart. And I'm like going, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, this is not for me. I'm not going to go see this. But at the same time, it's not for me. So you literally got a child with a cape on, running with a Krypto.
Buddy. Eyes up here.
Watching Superman.
Defenders of Earth, Superman needs our help.
Ready for your first real mission?
I'm Gary, and I'll oversee your training. Let's try punching.
So it's like a 3D.
Keep your arms forward
thing.
and aim together.
You punch,
Massive
you
object
do
detected
that.
in outer space. It's Darkseid's command ship.
Oh no!
He's after the Chaos Shard. Let's fly after him. We can't let that ship reach Metropolis.
Get him!
Wonderful.
I'll take to the skies. You protect the people of Metropolis.
See, while the parents
Earth needs
drink,
you. Everything you've learned led to this moment.
punch away.
We're going in. Let's finish this.
Now that's super.
But like, what's his name said in the original thing? Yeah, you know. But you know, they're using the costume and everything like that. So that's what Darkseid's going to look like. That's what Darkseid's going to look like. And yes, so we got our first little look at Darkseid right here when it comes to this. There he is. There's good old Darky side. Guess I shouldn't say it like that. I'm going to get canceled. But yes, so it's not even like him in his full form. It's like a hologram bubble thing, first off. And yeah, it looks ridiculous. Absolutely. Of course it looks ridiculous. But then at the same time, I went, oh, fuck. These guys are going to have a field day on this one. Oh, no. Oh, boy. It's gonna be a bad day. I don't even know if they realize that that's not really him, like, standing there. It's literally like a hologram bubble thing. So it's not even, we don't even get like a clear look at what Darkseid's looking like. But I was like, okay. Oh, man. Just a reaction to it. I mean, and I'm going like, oh my, and some of these guys have kids, by the way. And I'm just kind of wondering, do these guys, especially, you know, the more ones with the, you know, has voice in a YouTube channel. I know he has kids, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Do you think like he like talks to his kids and says and refuses to take them to go see any, like, maybe they want to see Superman and he goes, no, you can't, I'm not going to take you to see Superman. Or then he just like, they just tell their kids like, no, you can't like this Superman. You can't. I just kind of wonder about that. I always wonder about what's real life like. Are they telling their kids that you cannot like this version of Superman? You gotta like the darker R-rated version. You can't like the more family friendly. You can't, especially this. And you know, and there was a lot of, you know, there was some pushback, and when it came to all this, and I mean, there was people in my mentions that like, I'm not going to pay $80 because they were looking at tickets. I'm not going to pay $80 for that. I was like, it's $80 for the entire fucking tour. It's not $80 to play that. It's $80 to go on the tour. I mean, I being a California resident, I guess it's like $60-something. I've been on the Warner Brothers tour. It's great. You get to tour the backlot. You get to go on the sets. You get to see costumes and memorabilia. You get to walk into the DC thing. You get to see Batmobiles and the Bat suits and the Superman suits and everything like that. That's what you're paying for. You're not paying $80 for that. You're not. Well, I was like, Jesus Christ, you guys are really just, your James Gunn derangement syndrome is clouding your brains. Clouding your brains. Oh, it's just like, what the hell, man? And that's what I'm like, what are we doing here? This is not for you. It's not for me either. I'm not going to go to the Warner Brothers tour just to play that. No, that's not for me either. But people are like, this is the first official look at the DCU Darkseid. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. Now, the colors and everything, like if Darkseid ever does show up in the DCU, I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to look something like that, at least the color scheme and whatnot. But yeah, people are like, how did we go from, and they show, of course, Darkseid from Zack Snyder's Justice League to this, and I'm going, we didn't. That's not, you guys are talking about a 3D immersive game. But it gets better, folks. It gets better. It definitely gets better. Good old Cosmic Book News. Oh, that's right. Cosmic Book News, of course, is capitalizing on this shit 1,000% because that's what they do. That's what Matt McGroin does. Taking advantage. Doesn't give a shit about Zack Snyder or the Snyderverse or anything like that, but knows that it's, you know, that the loud portion, the people that are just like their whole online lives are about this. He decides to post this on Twitter, and it's a thing of beauty because I was like, holy shit. Been told Gunn isn't allowed to use Darkseid because Zack is coming back. Oh, what the hell? And he quote tweeted, this guy, I've seen his shit. I think he actually follows me on Twitter as well. This guy, I see his stuff pop up on my For You page. He posts bullshit after bullshit, more bullshit than Cosmic Book News. And of course, he said, according to Zack Snyder, Superman versus Darkseid was going to be the most quintessential DC battle of all time. So we won't stop demanding. Gunn verse sucks. restore the Snyderverse. But yeah, so Cosmic Book said that. That's right, guys. Gunn is not allowed to use Darkseid because Zack is coming back. Apparently, Zack owns the rights to Darkseid. Apparently so. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Except for Darkseid's going to show up in the Mr. Miracle animated series. And yeah, so what the fuck? Apparently the source to Mr. Matt McGroin left that part out, that Mr. Miracle is happening and Darkseid's going to be a part of it and stuff like that. Oh, and then it was funny too, because I saw this right here from someone who I've interacted with over time, who hides behind, of course. They all hide behind profile pictures and whatnot. But this was a funny one right here. Too, that I saw when it came to all this. And I'm not sure. I'm hoping that they're actually just lying and this is actually not true. But yeah, I've seen this guy before. And then, of course, he quote tweeted that and said, take this with a grain of salt, but I heard he isn't allowed to use Justice League either, which is why he went with Justice Gang. Jesus Christ. I really hope that's satire. I would hope that's satire, but knowing these guys, it probably isn't satire. So, James Gunn, the co-CEO of DC Studios, can't use Darkseid because Zack is coming back, and somehow Zack has some kind of rights on Darkseid, according to Cosmic Book News. And then according to that guy right there, he can't even use Justice League because apparently I think Zack probably owns the copyright of that. I mean, he did put his name on Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, so maybe now he owns the rights for Justice League. That's what I'm assuming right there. You know what I heard, guys? This is what I heard. I heard that Paramount and the Saudis are going to have a UFC event. They're going to have an octagon on the Warner Brothers lot, and Zack Snyder and James Gunn are going to get into the octagon, and they're going to fight for the rights of the DC universe. That's what I heard, guys. That's what I heard. You heard it here first, okay? You heard it here first. So everybody right there.
Exclusivo!
Exclusive right there. That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. Jesus Christ. Anyways, enough ranting about that. It's good stuff. But yeah, so that's what's been happening out there when it comes to all this. People freaking out. I mean, grown men freaking out over an immersive game on the Warner Brothers lot that is targeted to kids. I mean, again, and then it's sad when I see people who I've been acquainted with and thought were cool comment on that, and I go, what the fuck, dude? You're now, and I'm like, man, the further, and I've always said it, the further we get away from the Snyder Cut get released, the more the crazy comes out, and I'm like, what the hell, guys? Just crazy. So there you go. That's what I wanted to do that. All right. Start inviting some peeps on. We might not actually have like too many people on tonight. A lot of people are busy or have had a rough week, so we might have a light panel tonight. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that, you know. It happens. It definitely happens. So yeah, we might have a light little panel tonight. All right. So, what are you guys talking about? Yeah, Darkseid ride. It's not even a ride. I mean, it's just you stand somewhere. It's going to be... See, the thing is like, it's cool because, okay, so like I said, I went on the Warner Brothers tour about 2-3 years ago. And me and my girlfriend at the time, we went on the tour. She actually surprised me with it. It was like my delayed birthday / Christmas gift. She was like, yeah, let's go, but let's go at the, we went at the beginning of like 2023 or something like that. I don't know. if you are ever in the Burbank area, take the fucking tour. Yeah, like I said, if you're not a California resident, it's like $82 per ticket, but it's fun. It's great. It's great because it's a whole day. It's a half a day. It'd be like a half a day. And you get to tour the back lots. You get to see the sets, that you've seen in TV shows and movies. And of course, you get that whole tour and everything. And like, oh yeah, this set right here was once this movie or that show. Oh yeah, we're going down the street of where this took place. Blah, blah, blah. And then you get to walk out of it. You get to walk onto like an existing set. And then you get to go through the tour where they have sets where they've preserved certain sets, like the Friends couch and the Friends Central Perk set, Big Bang Theory. You got all this kind of stuff, and you got like Harry Potter stuff. There's like a Harry Potter section where you can actually take a picture where you're riding a broom. There's like a Lord of the Rings? No, that wasn't Warner Brothers, right? No, there was like there's other things too. But then you get to walk around and see costumes and props and everything when it comes to iconic movies. And then you get to the DC portion, and the DC portion is fucking crazy. I posted pictures about it. I mean, you see all the costumes. You see mostly all the Batmobiles just chilling in there, and you get to pose next to them, and and then you have immersive stuff when it comes to that. So this is just something that's probably added to that section where, yeah, you could stand, put on some glasses, and do some crazy stuff. You know, it's not, you know, it's in. But that's the first official look of Darkseid in the DCU. The internet does have ADHD, I swear. The brainlets keep proving themselves to be dumber every day. How the hell does someone think virtual? Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, but again, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, when you look at that Darkseid, it's in a hologram bubble, so it looks a little funky. But I wouldn't be surprised, like, if we saw a Darkseid in the DCU, it's probably going to look like a Darkseid. And it's going to have the blue and the gray color scheme and whatnot. Now, is it going to look better than what Zack did? I don't know. I would hope so. But, you know, the Zack Snyder Justice League design is fucking amazing. You know, it's all about, hey, we'll see. We shall see. That's what it is. It's always a we shall see. Fandom menace. I love that. I'd go to this just for the food alone. They have a pretzel shaped. Yeah. They have good food. It's a fun time. It's a fun time, man. It's like I said, and then there's so much merch. There's shirts, there's collectibles that you can get through. The WB show is great. The WB store is great. So I mean, like, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of good things. I would say that if you're ever in the area, go to the Warner Brothers tour. It's great. It's fucking, you know, have some fun. It's like a half a day, you know. It's, you know, I know everything's expensive. I know an $80 ticket's probably, you know, a little steep, but you know, if you're a California resident though, it's like $60-something. So at least there's that. You get a discount for living in this fucking state. But yeah, I mean, we made a whole day out of it. I mean, I remember we went there for the night, got a hotel, and, you know, just kind of just like chilled and got the hotel. And then the next day, that Sunday, we went and got some food at this one little plaza. And I had no idea that's where the Jim Lee Batman statue was. So I got to see that. I just walked around the corner, and it was like in the middle of this plaza because we were going to eat at this, at whatchamacallit, I can't remember the restaurant. But it was like, oh, fuck, there it is. There's the Batman statue. So I got the Jim Lee Batman statue. So I got to see that too. So you find that. And then there's the Green Lantern statue. You got to find that one. Aren't they going to release more statues, I thought? We got to figure that one out. Will this still exist after the Paramount merger? Probably. Because I don't think they're not gonna get rid of the Warner Brothers lot. They're not gonna get rid of Warner Brothers Studio. They're just gonna own it. Why would I don't? It would be stupid if Paramount just decided to just get rid of all that stuff. No, they're going to keep all that. They're not going to do something like that. And if they and then depending, again, everything's up in the air. I mean, I've said many times, I'm not a fucking, I'm not one of these like guys that goes, James Gunn isn't going anywhere. I'm like, no, Man of Tomorrow could very well be his last movie. We don't know, but it's still happening. Well, I take it back. It's a lot to yeah, it probably is. Probably is a lot of those type of people. I don't know. Yeah. We live in yeah. Sources always trust me, bro. And it also left out the part that the guy named Jack Kirby created Darkseid. Yeah. He did. Yeah, it's all pretty crazy, but oh no, look at this. Somebody, my whoever makes these quick accounts all of a sudden made a cosmic book account. Oh, shocker. Ryan, I bought 4K Superman. That's how I loved it. IMAX 3D was just a thrill ride, and the movie actually introduced my girlfriend to comics, so that's good. See, you always like to hear that. You always like to hear when these movies introduce somebody to the comic books. It's always great. Good. I'm glad you guys have fun. Other studios do stuff on Warner Brothers. Yeah. Oh yeah. And you'll hear that. There's a spot on the Warner Brothers lot where they shot a portion of Jurassic Park. The Jeep going through trees. I had no idea until I took the tour that they shot the part with the Jeep and then, going through the brush and all that kind of stuff. They shot that on the Warner Brothers lot. There's like a portion where they shot that on the Warner Brothers lot. And I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. And that's a Universal movie. So yeah, studios rent out spaces on each other's lots all the time. It's a common fucking thing. Didn't use WB. Yeah, exactly. We don't need another reboot. If they do, then the fans, yeah. Very true, man. That's the thing. People are like, but but at the same time, it's like, so say like Zack does come back. They could just feel like, we can have Elseworlds, which is the more subtle Snyder fans, the more clear thinking ones, I should say, actually go, yeah, we can have both. And I'm like, good. But of course the crazies are just like, fire James, fire him, he sucks, fire. They're always saying fire. Hey, we got a new member right here. Hey, thank you, James Mac 71. Appreciate you, man. All right, let's go ahead and like I said, it's going to be probably a small panel tonight, but we'll have some good discussions. Because, yeah, like I said, some people are busy and had long weeks and whatnot. All right, let's turn off the music and let's bring on William. What's happening?
Well, I'm first. Wow.
You're first today. Yeah, like I said, yeah, some of the others, man, they're kind of like tapped out tonight. So it might just be a small little panel for sure. So
I got a lot going. I don't know if I'm going to do the full, 9 or 10 hours you usually do, but I will be here.
No, we're not going to go that long tonight. That's for damn sure.
I got some stuff happening here. So
yeah, how's yeah, I'm good. How's everything going with the new location?
It's pretty much set up. The main square, you can't see this up, but I'm explaining to you. The main square area is set up almost completely. Just got to organize some stuff. The Star Wars, Star Trek room has all the stuff in it. I did not get they filled this part of this wall. It's a cinder block wall, but some of it's hollow, some of it's solid. So I got to get a different drill bit to go through the solid. Then I'll start hanging shelves on the left side, and then all the movie memorabilia and miscellaneous stuff will go in there. Just pretty much refining everything. The main day that it's open now, but the main day is May 2nd, which is Free Comic Book Day. So I've decided that's going to be where we hang.
May 2nd is Free Comic Book Day? Oh, okay.
Yep, first Saturday in May. So
right. Yeah.
That's the biggest day of the year for me anyway. So that's appropriate that we put the reopening on that day. But it's coming along. It's looking nicer.
That's good. That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, it's madness out there, of course. I know I need to make it out to Las Vegas. I know CinemaCon's happening next week, but I know you always are like, nothing happens there. It's all just for distributors, right?
Well, stuff happens, but nothing like for us.
Yeah.
Nothing that we can't find out through other places. And there's never anything, because we have people like the people who give us our movie stuff and all, they go.
Yeah.
And you can go if you want to drop $1,100, but there's just nothing there for me that I can't get off of waiting another 6 hours on YouTube. Now, if I owned a theater, it would be different because that's who it's for. Or if I was a candy distributor and those guys, like, they have big candy displays, it's awe-inspiring. Don't get me wrong, but there's nothing there for me as a dealer or as a pop culture fan that I can't sit around and that won't get leaked. And the stuff that's exclusive is usually stuff that we'll see in, like that year they showed Top Gun Maverick. Okay, I can wait the 90 days to see Top Gun Maverick. So it's not like,
Yeah, sometimes they'll do screenings. They did a flash screening also.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know they try to do stuff like that. I know, like, when it comes to Warner Brothers, they're going to have a presence there. They're going to have some, they're going to obviously talk about Supergirl. Apparently, there's, like, what I heard is they're probably have Supergirl. I think Amelia Alcock's going to be there, and Craig Gillespie. And they're going to talk about some Supergirl. Maybe they'll show, I don't know if they'll show anything. James Gunn's going to have like a message that he recorded or something like that, and then maybe even say, like, yeah, I'm prepping for Man of Tomorrow, and do all that. And then I heard that there may be a Clayface teaser that might be shown, but I'm not holding my breath on it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they would want to show that there. And then, like you said, it probably won't be online. It'd probably be online like a week later or something.
Yeah.
But they might show the trailer there and we might hear about it. And it's probably going to show up online a week or two later. So I don't know.
It's going to be interesting because, listen, the last time David Zaslav and all those guys showed up, they lied. They got up in front of all these hungry wolves and said, all this bullshit, we're going to save the theater industry. We're here. We're behind you. Remember all that bullshit? And I got people telling me, like, wait, look, we're in the theaters. No, first of all, you listen to David Zaslav, and there's two people in this world, or a handful of people, and not all of them in entertainment, that you should never believe when they're talking to you, is David Zaslav and David Ellison. Because they're not necessarily lying.
I share their names, which sucks. Anyways.
Yeah, they're not telling you a truth that's useful to you.
No.
So now you got these guys here with this merger 50-50 happening, and you're talking to your audience is the theater owners.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how that's going to be, what kind of atmosphere that's going to be when you have this merger coming on, and no matter what they say and how many movies that Paramount says they're going to release a year, it's going to lead to consolidation that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt brick and mortar theaters. No matter what they try to spin you, the math just doesn't work. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some meetings there, or what kind of atmosphere is like, hey, what are you going to get up on the stage and tell us this year? Because the last time you got up on the stage, you were full of shit and you lied.
Yeah.
And everybody ate it up, because people will believe, smart people will believe bullshit if that's what they want to hear. And that's what they wanted to hear that time. And Zaslav, look what Zaslav did. He didn't do anything like that. No, and if Ellison gets up there and says the same thing, how are you going to believe him? So, yeah.
No. Yeah, you can't believe any of these guys. And that's what's going to be interesting about, obviously with the merger and the fact that, we heard this week that the $24 billion, whatever the hell, like Saudi money, which
Saudi fund.
Yeah, the Saudi fund. Well, and then it's also from like, a couple other spots from the Middle East, which, it's concerning. I can see why people are concerned, but I mean, we already kind of heard that, it was always going to be the case. They said that they're not going to have any governance on, what they do, but then it's like, well, there's probably going to be something. There's going to be
I only speak one language.
Yeah.
But in all the languages I do speak, that's a lie.
Yeah, that's a total lie. I know. And that's the thing. And I think they definitely want to be like, hey, now you're in charge of this media right here. How about we, take a look at what you guys are going to be putting out there when it comes to media, like news and shit. I mean, I don't think like so much it's going to affect the movies a lot, but at the same time, yeah, it's still going to have an effect on the movies. I mean, the only thing that I'm like gung ho for is like, okay, if you're going to promise like to put out these types of movies, and if you're going to have, obviously there's always been this thing where there's always the discourse of like, all these movies get political and they want to do this, they want to do that. And that's what people were nervous about Netflix, because, oh yeah, Netflix went too woke. And then they start like talking about that. And then you got Paramount and David Ellison, which is supposed, they're on the opposite side because, oh yeah, they're all about Trump and this, that, and this, or MAGA. And I'm like, are they really? Because, I mean, when I look at what's happening with Star Trek, I go that it seems like they're doing that stuff, and it's pretty. A lot of people are going, it's gone full on woke.
Well, that wasn't them. That was them under their stewardship, but it was already in motion.
Okay.
The problem is one thing to be MAGA. That's fine. You have the right to be, that.
Whatever you want. Yeah, I think.
There where they lose credibility is the Barry White situation. That's where they lose credibility, to where you can no longer say, well, hey, you can have your political beliefs over here and then run your operation here, because they've merged it with somebody who is perceived to not. And if you look at CBS News, their ratings, sponsorship, a lot of that has gone down because it's not taken seriously. And that's a problem when if you align yourself with an extreme point of view or extreme politician, it takes away your credibility from somewhere. You may please someone, but when it's the news, and not a lot of people do editorials. Like in the old days, Cronkite would give his opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of people, Brokaw would give his opinion. Ted Koppel would give his opinion, but right under that scroll, it would say editorial, or right over their shoulder, it would say editorial.
Yeah. They would say editorial, and then they would actually just give the news and not even have their opinion on that. They would just give legit news. This is what's happening, and this is what we're hearing. And then they would do an editorial, and it would be mentioned. And then, I know. I wish we can go back to more of that, where back in the 90s, when my parents would have the news on, it was news. And like I said, there'd be an editorial. They'd give their opinion, sure. And then you had late night shows, when it came to Carson, Leno, Letterman, you didn't know where they were at politically. They made fun of whoever was in the office, whoever was the president, they made fun of that president.
Kimmel goes full blast on him, but Kimmel is openly entertainment.
Yeah.
Kimmel is in no way, shape, or form presenting news. CBS is, so that's a problem. I also think with the $24 billion coming from a region that's volatile right now, depending on how long this takes place. So if this goes past, if we're still lingering this in November and the House flips, just the hearings alone are going to delay things. If both houses flips, then you have more hearings, because you have Senate hearings are not the same as House hearings, House oversight hearings. And then you start getting people, maybe I don't want to do this, or, our region is volatile right now. We're in the middle of a war. Yes. There's a lot of things that are happening with that merger. I think the fact that it's going to devalue the company as it goes along. So we're sitting on we're April 10th. Holy shit. We're on April 10th. So by the time this goes down, keep an eye on Paramount Global stock, and then Warner Brothers stock, and then keep an eye on where the market says what that debt load could do. Because remember, when Warner Brothers was first sold, they had $49 billion in debt that they assumed when they purchased AT&T. And that was one of the things, if you own their stock, that was one of the black eyes against their stock going above $8 and $9 for so long. It wasn't until the merger and things started happening and they started to pull a little bit of profit 2.5 years later was when the stock burden lifted. That was under $49 billion. Now we're talking about $79 billion. And the synergy, which is, and people keep telling me that everything's going to stay the same. Synergy means job loss.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm a barely literate bonehead. I know what that means. And so you're talking about job loss, consolidation, and less jobs, less working places. And whenever that happens, you create an unfair leverage advantage. People can't go to places to get better opportunities. So you're going to start seeing a lot of people who who, as this becomes a reality, they're going to be starting to talk like, you know what, I don't know if we're okay with this. Not saying that it might not go through. I just don't think it's a done deal as it sounds like it is right now.
No, they got to go through a lot of shit, and and then we got politicians that are pushing back on it. There's going to be a lot of. I mean, I know they're trying to, especially with everything that's moving in motion, and good on them for they're really trying to move it in motion. I think they want to get it all done and set for when it comes to I think July or something like that. They want to try, but who knows, but even David Zaslav in a fucking leaked audio said, oh yeah, it's probably going to take about 6 to 12 months before this shit.
That's why he's trying to get the hell out. You notice for the third time. By the way, they rejected his ass for a third time. I'm like, he
wants to get his bag and he wants to get the F out of there. That's what it is.
Not giving up.
What's going on, Taladia? What's happening?
Oh, look, somebody got a haircut.
Hey, yeah, somebody did get a haircut. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. How you doing, guys? How you doing, Dave?
Good. We're just talking some. All the craziness that's happening with the merger and the fact that they're getting that fund from Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. Yeah. It's crazy time.
And then there's lawsuits too. Once each of these ADs start filing lawsuits, now what they'll do, the first thing they'll do is any agreement, they'll put a stay on it. So you got that added onto it. So it could be a while, but all the while, I don't know if the Ellisons can run Paramount. They've only had that company for what, a year?
Yeah.
Their track record, in my opinion, ain't great.
So far, it's not been good, and that's what I think a lot of us are worried about too. Yeah, it's like, well, if they just let things just let things run. We got DeLuca and Pam Abdi. They're doing good. Look at what happened last year. Look at the stellar year that Warner Brothers happened last year. Just keep them in place and keep those people in place. DC Studios.
Thing? Huh? Da-dum, you know that sound that comes with Netflix? Ta-dum. Every time you mention Abdi, DeLuca, or Gunn, you should start playing that.
See, that's what's so weird. It's like it was always just like, hey, what's the lesser of two evils when it comes to Netflix or Paramount? That was I just wanted Warner Brothers just to stay where they're at. I'm like, you guys had a stellar year, just fucking stay. But the Zaslav was never going to do that.
No, he wasn't there for that.
Yeah, he was always going to fucking throw a coat of paint on and some hardwood floors and some fucking knock down a wall and then here you go, it's brand new, and turn it over. But it just sucks that that's the case because they had this stellar year and it's like, well, just stay where you are and just continue. But then of course, 2026 starts and The Bride just falls flat on its face and just bombs completely. And it's like, all right, you're starting off the year with a bomb. Never good. And hopefully that doesn't set up what's gonna, but at the same time last year they had Mickey 17 flop. Even though I enjoyed Mickey 17, I did not enjoy The Bride. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen when it comes to all that. It's all very much up in the air. And like I said, it's going to take time, and there's going to be crazy, there's going to be hearings, there's going to be lawsuits, there's going to be politicians that are going to be intervening, and yeah, it's all just crazy. We got Ronan showing up too.
What's up, muchachos?
What's going on, man? Ronan? How you doing? A little shy tonight?
Yeah, I might put up the webcam. I just moving stuff around the bedroom, but I was just like, for now, I think Mando should do fine. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Thanks for joining, man. Good to see you. Yeah, man. Just finishing up watching the Artemis 2 stuff, and I was
yeah. They're all good there. I saw they landed.
Yeah.
And so the astronauts now they have to go into like a little like a quarantine or a decompression thing for like a few days or whatever the hell long. It was cool because the Mets game they showed it on the big screen at the Mets game of the capsule hitting
the landing on San Diego.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So yeah, good on them. Crazy.
Hopefully next year we do make it to the moon, but
somebody needs to let's walk on that thing again. Throw a football.
Yeah,
drive.
That'd be cool.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. We'll build stuff on it over mine.
Yeah, start building some things on there. Drive a Tesla on there.
It'll be all like on the
I know Elon's like, I gotta get a Tesla on that fucking thing. Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah,
it seemed like it was such a quick trip. Didn't it seem like it was quick?
It was within a week, right?
Yeah, it was just a week trip. just a week, just fly out there, swing around the moon, and then back. That's pretty sweet. So
it was fascinating, like seeing the details of like, wait, why are we actually going back?
Yeah.
And then you look into it and you're like, oh, it's the same shit all over again since the 60s. And it's just like,
yeah, I mean, it pretty much is. We just got clearer images.
Yeah.
They don't want China establishing or Russia.
And they wanted to see the other side of the moon. So
the dark side.
Pink Floyd.
Dark side of the moon. I know.
Yeah, you never know. They might find. You never know. They might find a transformer there. Just saying.
Michael Bay is like, oh yeah.
Maybe the moon is a transformer. Oh man.
Oh my
God. I've gone down those rabbit holes. I've gone down those rabbit holes on, late at night. Like, what? The moon is actually a spaceship? Okay, I'm gonna click that video. I've gone down those rabbit holes. They're fun. I'll even go down flat Earth ones. I don't believe it 100% because we just saw pictures. We saw live video. We know it's not, but I like the concept because every time I go down the flat Earth rabbit hole, it gets bigger and bigger where it's like, not only are we is it flat, but there's outside our ice wall, there's more land.
There's a turtle under holding it all.
And there's dragons running. And there's more land with like big creatures and fucking all that. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, somebody just needs to make a movie about this. This sounds like a good sci-fi concept. And I'm like, I'm surprised that there hasn't really been a movie or a series. I'm sure it's coming eventually. But I'm like, man, we jump on this stuff. This stuff's like, you can really capitalize on something really cool right here or something like that.
Stephen King already did.
Well, technically, I don't want to spoil it. Anyways, I was about to spoil something, but I'm not going to spoil it for a movie.
But you know what I've been doing, though, the last week or so is actually going on HBO Max, watching John Wick 1 and 2 and following in correct order.
Yeah.
So, like, chronological order, because I was like...
It's always fun to do that.
Yeah, because I was like, what John Wick? Because I'm excited for John Wick Chapter 5. I hope we get some news on that.
I know. I just don't know how they're going to bring him back.
Good, I can win my money back for all the people I bet that thought he was dead.
Of course. I mean, William, I know you very well. I mean,
weren't they supposed to? They're supposed to do a prequel anime, right? Also, an anime movie.
I believe so. A game.
It's supposed to talk about. It's supposed to show the events that they talk about in the first one or something like that, where he went through where he just blasted through like a bunch of fucking dudes.
Yeah,
that sounded bad. That sounded weird. I realized how that sounded, but yeah. But I'm just saying, I forgot. It's like that certain event that he talked about, where basically I think that's what led him to retirement.
Yeah, he wanted to leave for the girl, and the guy said, "If you take care of this for me, then
he was the ultimate impossible."
So we see that the anime is going to show that whole thing, which I'm all about that, and the fact that if it's going to be, I'm not a big anime guy, but man, sometimes when you watch something like that's action packed and going to be gory, I mean, it's going to be fucking crazy. It's going to be insane.
If you like action, you need to watch Lazarus. That's
Lazarus?
I think that'd be up your alley. Yeah, Lazarus. It's the guy that did Bebop and Samurai Champloo.
Okay.
And this one. It's modern. It's the topical is poignant, but it's a fun set of characters with the action, and it's the same guy who did the John Wick movies did the choreography for the anime for that fight.
So he's probably he's gonna be working on this.
Yeah.
Is that on like a streaming?
Adult Swim. It's on HBO Max, I think.
Oh, sweet. There you go. All right, I wrote it down. I'm gonna check that out. But yeah, the Saudi money and all the stuff. It's all crazy right now. I mean, it's just you just got to take it a day at a time. And I mean, I'm not one of those that's trying to jump to conclusions on anything or whatever. I mean, this shit still might not go through. I'm not excited. I wouldn't be excited for Netflix either, but when it comes to Paramount, because it's such a bigger thing and it's such a different kind of thing. I mean, like I said, both of them were like, wow, which was the lesser of two evils right here. So I don't know. I'm just taking it in as it is. And that's why I even say I'm like, guys, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but when it comes to DC Studios, they could drop James Gunn easily. Like Man of Tomorrow could be his last movie. I mean, there's nothing that is scheduled after. I mean, we got the Batman Part 2 that's also going to be kicking in the gear pretty soon too. So we have those two movies, but there's nothing. I mean, yeah, we hear about placeholders, and now, yeah, maybe and we hear about stuff that it's in the works, but we have nothing that's full on scheduled after Man of Tomorrow. You know, like there's nothing really else. We got the 3 projects this year, and then we got Man of Tomorrow and the Batman 2 next year, and it's like, okay, what's after that? I mean, you guys got to start, announcing some more stuff, but I'm like, we're not hearing anything.
Contract negotiation.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's like his contract is him and Saffron's contract is up, like right around the time Man of Tomorrow comes out, or even before that, or I don't know when it is.
Right, it's just after that, just a few months after that, yeah. and there's the fact that there's nothing been solidified. This is within a year of your kind. Generally, in any walk of life, you have that extension so that you're not a lame duck. Because you need to start planning for the next cycle of things that you're going to be doing. Investors are going to be like, you want me to put money towards this movie? Who's going to be the people that are doing it? Is this guy locked in yet? So I don't, and if there's nothing planned after that, then, and that might be on James Gunn's part. Maybe James Gunn is keeping his options open. Who knows? But I said this a couple years ago. People, everybody in their Play-Doh mind wants to be like, oh, he's going to stay. There's no way he's going to leave. You don't know why people come to places or go to places.
Yeah,
I mean, if you get a better opportunity, you're going to go. That's all there is to it.
I don't want him to leave, but the way things are managing now, it's just like anything is possible. Sadly,
anything is possible.
Yeah,
anything can happen in the entertainment business. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and then when people get like too attached to the discourse and the tribalism out there, it's like, all right, let's relax. You don't know, nobody knows. We hear things, sure, and then we get bullshit shit out there, and they feed into certain narratives, and it's like, all right, guys, let's just calm down and relax. You don't know anything, we don't know anything, but that's why. But I always say, DCU fans, James Gunn fans, don't be surprised if Man of Tomorrow could be his last movie. It could happen, 100%. That is on the table. I don't want it to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're still going to continue. And he's even said in interviews that, they have these plans that we don't know about for a decade. And then he's even said we have plans, but whoever does them, he's even said that because he knows he's been in
the plans could still happen.
The plans could still be there. He might not be doing them. So that's the thing. It's like there's nothing wrong with constructing a 10-year plan, but at the same time, you might not be there to execute that plan. And maybe the plan's still good enough to be follow that, but we just not going to have him anymore. We don't want his stuff anymore.
What I could see James Gunn happening for him is that if he loses his job, if he loses his job, he can still direct for DC Studios, though.
True.
And still do the Superman saga and still continue that if he wanted to.
Yeah, he could still be doing something.
I think he'd bolt.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't.
Bolt in a heartbeat.
He go back to Feige. He go back.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna. Why would you stay there? Why would you do that when you're gonna have better offers from just about everybody?
And why stay there when now you don't have because he's calling the shots. Now you get that taken away from you. And it's like, why would I want to, unless they were just we're going to have somebody else in charge. We'll let you still do what you want to do, though. Maybe that, but I don't see that happening. So I think if they were to take away his co-CEO job, he would not probably want to stay in direct. He probably would go back to Marvel and again, this is what I even, was wanting for Zack. It's like, hey, if it doesn't work out, dude, make something original, do something more and original, do something, and I'm sure he does. He probably has a script or two somewhere of some kind of story that he came up with when he was a kid or when he was a teenager or something like that, some kind of passion project. And that's what Zack's been doing now. He's been doing his passion projects. And, and it sucks too that they don't get as well received. And then people are just like, hey, come back to DC. And then it even almost seems like maybe it's like, oh yeah, this shit's not working. Maybe I should go back to DC. I don't want that for him. I want him to thrive on his own.
Expand.
But if it doesn't work out with James Gunn, I'd be like, dude, try to, you made
Slither, or whatever the one is. He's done it before.
Movies. Yeah. A lot of people don't, the people who always spit, acid at him. I'm like, have you watched? And when they always say the certain thing, I'm like, did you watch Super or Slither? Because you probably haven't. And of course they haven't. They only see him as the Guardians of the Galaxy guy.
Yeah.
That's all they see him as. Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's all he does. And I'm like, you haven't watched Super. You should watch Super.
Or Bright for that. Okay. Yeah.
When it comes to movie fans, though, it's generally hard to. It's what attracts them. It's what attracts you as a movie. Not every movie fan is a cinephile. Like for me,
true.
Ridley Scott, one of my favorite directors. But if he does another rom-com, fuck him. So if I came over, if I'm attracted to a particular director's because of a genre, and they go outside of that genre, listen, I'm not. I don't want to see human interest. I don't care.
Which
if I
was
came for rockets in space, that's what I want to see.
What was Ridley Scott's rom-com?
Louise.
Thelma and Louise, House of Gucci still hurts my ears to this day.
Yeah.
And she
Louise wasn't bad. Thelma and Louise wasn't really a rom-com. It was
okay. What do you want to call it? Whatever it is, it wasn't.
I don't know how you would put that one. It was because it was two women who were on a road trip. It was a road trip movie.
Yeah.
It's weird because I do sense that. I remember Spielberg. A lot of people were like, I don't know about these period pieces. Like I'm like, what's up with this? Like War Horse, Lincoln, all stuff, and like people are like, no. And I mean, the only one that really got me of his like period pieces between like the mid 2000s and 2010s was it was The Post. I was like, okay, I like that. Like it felt like a Spielberg movie, and it just so happens to be about journalism. And so like there are like phases with these directors that you're like, I don't know about this phase. It's not as favorable as the other ones that he's done, but like,
that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like not everything is going to be golden. I mean, when people are always like going, oh yeah, like they can do no wrong. It's like, no, they can. I mean, Spielberg has some shit sandwiches, and like Nolan, people are not fans of like Tenet or Dunkirk, because he took.
I love Dunkirk. I just don't like.
That's the thing. Like that's what's so weird about Nolan is like you will always find fans of like even like his controversial work. I don't know if it's controversial, but it's like the work that people are not praising. I think Dunkirk was beautifully done. It's not one of those movies I gravitate toward. If I want to watch a Nolan movie, I'm not going to put on Dunkirk.
He's got two movies.
Yeah, but then but people hate Tenet. They're like, fuck Tenet. I don't even know what the hell that was. Yeah, see, there's a lot of people that are just like, yeah, screw that. That is his worst movie. And I was like, I think it was great.
I wouldn't put it down. I wouldn't put it as worst movie. His style in general turns me off, except for two movies. He has a pace and a style that literally takes me out of being entertained. And there are some directors out there that do that, and it has nothing to do with how talented or how brilliant they may be. He's sending out a signal, and I'm just not receiving it. That's all it is to it. So it's not a hatred towards Nolan. I'm not one of those people that are the receptors of the signals he's sending out, with the exception of two movies, which is Oppenheimer and Dunkirk. The rest of his movies just really hurt my head. The Nolan trilogy, I told you how much I watch of the Nolan trilogy, literally 47 minutes, and they're all Heath Ledger scenes. But other people adore those movies. But I'm not a fan of his pacing and the way he tells stories. And there's a lot of people that can pick a director. They can pick a James Gunn, and they'll pick him apart and say, well, I don't like the way he does it. A director's it's like gloves. If it doesn't fit, you can't put it.
True.
I've heard people not crazy about Nolan's editing in the mid 2010s. I'm like, I could see that, but like, there's stuff like, again, like, listen, I'm a Tarantino fan. I think Death Proof is my least favorite one, but there's stuff in it that I like still. I mean,
it's a wild ass movie, dude.
Yeah, and
that movie was. I mean, I actually went to the double feature. Me and my buddy, we went to
Grindhouse
Saturday. Yeah. We went to the grind. We're like, we're doing this right. We're like, fuck yeah. So like, we went on a Saturday, like first showing. And we saw the and it was just great. I mean, it was fun. I mean, like I think Death Proof was very unique, and I really enjoyed it. I thought Kurt Russell was great, and I thought it was a very unique kind of thriller horror movie that apparently he came up with Yeah, he mentioned that how he came up with that in an interview. I forgot there was some actor he like fucking Sean Penn, I think he said. He was hanging out with Sean Penn, and then Sean Penn was like trying to sell his car, and he goes, just sell it. And he said, I'm just gonna sell it to the studio, and they're just gonna turn it into a stunt car, so they'll just make it a death proof. And that's how the fucking title came about. Sean Penn said they'll make it death proof, and then apparently that fucking rang a bell in Tarantino's brain.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, yeah. So like, yeah. But yeah, when it comes to directors, it's like, yeah, you never know. Like, yeah. I mean, Spielberg's like always been held at a standard, where it's like you see the name, you go, holy shit, Steven Spielberg, but you go and you go, fucking, I didn't even watch West Side Story. Not because my best friend was in there, but, I'm just saying, Rachel Zegler. Sorry. Yeah. But I mean, that won awards. I mean, I got nominated for awards, and it did still do well, but I wasn't into it. I'm not into musicals, or anything, so I didn't watch that. It wasn't for me. But actually, I think I did. Did I watch that? I don't know.
I remember it was not didn't have that kind of effect on you.
No, I didn't have that. I always try to watch like those types of movies when it's award season. So maybe I did put it on, but I was not interested. But at the same time, you always know when it's a Spielberg movie. Like what was the one that was essentially a biopic of himself?
Fablemans.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
I love that one.
Fantastic movie. I watched that and I was like, from start to finish, it just had a feel of a Spielberg movie, and it just was like inspirational. It was so inspirational of this kid just wanting to make movies. And yeah, I mean, it was totally a biopic of Spielberg. And then of course having the David Lynch and little cameo at the end was fucking great.
As John Ford, I had heard that story. And I'm like, oh, he's doing the story. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He got David fucking Lynch to play him. I'm like, that's
that's so good. So freaking good. Yeah, that was a fantastic movie. But it didn't, but it didn't drive people to the movies. It did mediocre. I mean, it didn't really do. It got nominated and it didn't really even win much, I don't think. But but then you got Disclosure Day coming out, and a lot of people are going, "Oh fuck, is that Spielberg? He's back doing alien stuff." Yeah,
I hope, man. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, because imagine if you go from Close Encounters of the Third Kind to West Side Story. I can't blame the customer for not coming along with them. It's like if Denis Villeneuve gives me some, husband and wife counseling drama. Sorry, I can't do it. I don't care if Hans Zimmer is doing the score. I won't be there.
Yeah.
So I'm no less. So am I less a Denny fan or less a Lee fan? Because
you're a level-headed moviegoer. That's what it is. You're not going like, oh yeah, everything that this person makes is gold. It's like, no, we have our critiques.
Particular taste. Yep.
Yeah, you got to, and I'm with you on that because, but Denny is like, he's done well. I mean, he's done different genres as well. I mean, look at like Sicario. I mean, that's totally just like, and that was such a good movie. Second one, not as good, but obviously it wasn't him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like, that was just such, I mean, the guy knows how to build tension. I mean, Prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I showed my ex that movie. She was like, can we put on something fucking like a comedy after that one? That was fucking heavy. I'm like, yeah. She liked it, but she was like, I need like a comedy movie after that because it was just so intense and so just like, Jesus Christ.
That's how I was with No Country for Old Men. I was just like, what the fuck just happened? I was like, whew.
That was a Coen brothers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and those guys,
they won an award for that.
Yeah. I had to do that, like watch a rom-com film after watching The Housemaid.
Sometimes you need that when you watch like a heavy movie that has a lot of like when I watched Hamnet before the Academy Awards, I was like, oh yeah, Hamnet's on. It was on like Peacock or Paramount. I don't know which one it was on, but I watched it on a Saturday morning. I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this. And that movie was just like, Jesus Christ, there's so much like this is heavy with emotion, really good. And Jessie Buckley 100% deserved all the awards she got for that. And thank God she did, because again, the bride bombing during the same time. It was like, fuck, that sucks, because she still did really good in that. So did Christian Bale. Don't get me wrong on the performances. It's just the movie did not
horribly marketed movie though.
Yeah, horribly marketed movie, and it did not know what it wanted to be, because halfway through I was going, what the fuck is this? And everything was there, but the story, the script needed, somebody needed to go in there and be like, all right, we got to figure out what this fucking movie wants to be. But when I watched Hamilton, I was like, shit. And immediately after that, I'm like, I got to put on something. I was like, put on something funny. Jesus Christ, that movie was so heavy, so freaking emotionally heavy. And yeah, but it's cool to watch those kinds of movies. But yeah, but I think we all kind of agree that after you watch something like that, you're like, all right, let me put on Dumb and Dumber. I need something stupid and funny and just to joke around. Yeah.
Arrival messed me up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw that the night of the election, and I was 16. I was like, oh, happy ending. Yeah.
I think I mean, that's my favorite of Denny's movies. Really? I love the Dune movies, but that's my favorite of his movies because I'm a sucker for alien movies. And that was such a unique take.
Yeah.
God damn, that movie is so damn good. And just like the whole trying to translate and trying to,
the time travel element, it was done very well.
That fucks with your head, man. That fucks with your head of like, oh wait, time is not, it's not a straight line. It's all, and then it's just the way that, and then of course, when the reveal at the end, and I'm like, man, I mean, it almost felt like a Nolan movie. Yes. In a way, it felt like a Nolan movie, because Nolan likes to fuck with your head when it comes to time. Obviously, when you look at like Tenet, Inception, and even Memento.
Non-linear,
which, like I said, Memento is.
See, the difference between it wasn't told out of sequence. See, what Nolan does is he that's what drives me crazy. It's out of sequence.
But I like
with Arrival, it was plot line. It was just done better.
I told you with Dunkirk, right? Like at points you're in the past and then you're in the future, and you're like, oh wait, who's still dead and who's still alive? Yeah.
But you had Dunkirk, the actual event, as a reference point from where they were at. So and that's probably why that movie works for me, whereas other movies do. I'm World War II buff. I knew Dunkirk, the evacuation, where the amount of when all the people started dying, when it started slowing down. Those are things I had before I saw the movie, so it was a lot easier for me to take in. But when Oppenheimer, he doesn't do it as much, or either he doesn't do as much, or it's done better than any of the movies he's ever done. I don't feel. Those two movies, I did not feel taken out of the movie.
When it came to Oppenheimer, that was one of those that I needed to watch something funny after that one. I was like, I remember just like walking out of that movie. I saw it with my ex and I think her parents, and I think my mom too was there. I don't know, maybe not. But I just remember walking out of that movie and just kind of going like, Jesus Christ, because it doesn't end happy.
The last line, I believe you have, and it's like,
but he does. But at the same time, and I remember telling her when we were walking to the car, I was like, he fucking did it. I'm like, Christopher Nolan did it. He took this story and somehow he Nolaned it. He Nolaned it because obviously when it comes to him talking to what's his name?
Albert Einstein.
I could not. I was like, Frankenstein. No, that's not right.
Jesus Christ, my
brain went to Frankenstein. What the hell? But it was close. When you see him, you see like they had the conversation, in the first act, and then it comes back to it, and then just the way that the whole thing gets told, and then you see that, and then the way it ends with the last line, it's like, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, but I was like, hey, yeah, Christopher Nolan just somehow he made that work. No other director would have made that work. I feel maybe, but who knows? But at the same time, it's just the way that he told that story in a 3-hour movie about creating the atom bomb. It's like anybody else probably would have just like made a shorter movie and it just would have been like a standard kind of biopic or whatever the hell. But Nolan just has this way of doing a storyteller where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to plant this seed right here. I'm going to plant this seed right here. And we're going to come back to it. And then I'm going to do this thing where when we're looking at the point of view of this character, it's going to be black and white. And then it's, it's like, and that's why I love about that movie. It was like, you could see like his inner workings of his brain. Now, a lot of people are not going to like it and understand it, but I love that. I mean, it kind of brought me back to Memento, which is my favorite movie of his, because that movie is telling the story backwards
Mm-hmm.
while also telling the story forwards. And when it's telling the story backwards, it's in color. When it's telling the story forwards, it's in black and white. And then it meets up beautifully. And I'm like, God damn, that's like that's why I love that movie so much. It's one of my all-time favorite movies because it's such a unique way to tell a story of a character who has short-term memory loss trying to figure out his wife's killer. And you have like these, you have a story doing this, going like that. And then you're like in his shoes because you don't even know what happened prior.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going, well, what the hell is going on over here in the black and white stuff where it's going forward, where he's like basically giving you exposition in a very beautiful way going forward while you're figuring out what the hell is going on backwards. And I love how he explained it. You see that video where he's like, it's like a paperclip. And the way I'm like,
awkward. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, how the fuck did you, God damn. But a lot has to do with his brother too. Yeah. His brother, John, we have to give credit to his brother too.
Jonathan, yes.
A fantastic fucking writer. I mean,
Fallout, Westworld, yeah.
Yes. I mean, the dude, I mean, I saw somebody actually like make a stink about that where on Twitter, I forgot exactly what it was, but somebody was quote tweeting somebody else because they referred to, Christopher Nolan's brother. And it was like, really, the guy who co-wrote this movie, and Fallout, and Westworld, he's Christopher Nolan's brother. It's like, call him Jonathan Nolan. It's like, yeah.
Spielberg hired him to do the first 2 drafts of Interstellar when Spielberg was doing it.
That's right. Yes, Spielberg has said that too recently, going back to Spielberg.
For a year.
He was working on that for a year, and he was like totally like ready to dive into it, but then it just fell forward, and then he was like, it was a good thing because Nolan nailed that movie.
The next day he got it. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like sometimes that happens where it's like Spielberg probably wouldn't have made it as good of a movie, I feel, because Nolan, again, just the way that his brain works and the way that he does the time travel and weird shit like that, it totally worked. And then, even speaking of Spielberg, man, Zack Krager must have just leaped out of his chair. Did you guys see the quote that Spielberg said about weapons?
No.
They wanted to get him back into horror again? Or
yeah, he said that after he watched Weapons, he doesn't feel the need to jump back into the horror genre because that movie satisfied his itch because it was so good. And I'm like,
holy shit.
Can you imagine Zack Krager just like reading that, being like Steven Spielberg just gave me the ultimate fucking praise for Weapons.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's
maybe I need to see this movie again. I don't know. Maybe first of all, the movie didn't scare me. As a horror, I mean, I lived up to my neck in horror. I don't
think it was meant to really do that.
Yeah. But the way that movie is
scary, it was meant to be a mind. Like to me, what I love about that movie, when I watched it again, it's not going to have the same impact because the reason why it had such an impact because they had such a good hook with the kids just running and then that was it. Like what the fuck? So it had such a good hook. But what I love about it, again, I know you're not the biggest fan of unlinear storytelling, but it does have that Tarantino-esque storytelling of like, let's show this character's point of view, then this character's point of view. I love that shit.
But all of his characters matter, though. When Tarantino does it, he doesn't have useless characters. There were 2 useless characters.
I felt like all those characters mattered to the story, in my opinion.
The junkie and the cop.
Yes.
I literally could have done number 2.
He went into the house.
They ended up being useless. They could have gotten any of those characters to do that. And like I said, once on Gladys, she deserved that Academy Award.
Yeah.
Once she shows up, it's like, okay, well, shit.
Well,
you're building up this campaign in this movie.
I worry about the prequel, though. I'm like, man, is the prequel going to be good with Gladys? I'm like, see, that's the thing. That's the thing about, and that's the thing about Hollywood is the fact that it's like you have a winner and then it's like, we want more. So then they're going to give more, but it's going to be a prequel and it's going to be a prequel about Aunt Gladys and how she got to where she got. But then it's like,
put that in the movie.
Yeah. I'm like, is that going to work? And I mean, I've even heard things too, where, obviously Project Hail Mary everybody's loving that movie. And I was hearing things like, oh yeah. I mean, that there's suits out there that are going, We want another one. And it's like, no. That movie's perfect. It ends.
Well, so is Godfather.
Yeah.
Sometimes, listen, sequels.
Okay, well, they have to come up with a good script, but I just don't know what
that goes for anything, though.
Yeah, I know. I get that. But I worry about that because I'm like, that movie was just so perfect from start to finish. It wraps everything up in a nice little bow. And I'm like, what else? I mean, the magic of it, I don't know how you can recapture that in a sequel. Like, what else can there be? You know?
Well, anything that you would learn about her in a sequel should have been in a fucking movie to begin with. But that's aside. Yeah. If you have a sequel, and people are like, well, a sequel doesn't touch the first one no matter what, how bad it does. Yeah. But if you have story to tell, continue to tell the story. But that should be on a case-by-case basis. Because otherwise, you don't get Godfather 2, which is probably arguably better than Godfather 1. And then you have others. There's plenty of other really good movies that have had sequels, some of which are better than their original. But to your there are plenty of ones that have fucked it up. But I think it's got to be a case by case, case by case basis. I don't think it should be off the table.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It, you know,
I think they if they were to do like a Project Hail Mary sequel, it's Andy Weir has got to be involved. Drew Goddard's got to be involved. It's got to have, because Project Hail Mary, it was so fascinating to dive into how that came to be, because I didn't know about the book until they announced the movie. And then when you start diving into it, you're like, oh, so Andy Weir, of course, it's the guy who wrote The Martian. He's teaming up with Drew Goddard, who adapted The Martian, and that movie was fantastic. All right, you already have pieces right there. And then I didn't realize that when he finished the manuscript, they were already planning on doing the adaptation, and Ryan Gosling was already attached and received the manuscript. So everything was already there. And then, of course, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller came into the picture, and everything just fell into place, and you just kind of worry about like, I don't want to, because I saw it again, I took my mom and she loved it. She absolutely loved it. And it's my favorite movie of the fucking year so far, because it's just such a well-made space adventure, sci-fi movie. And it's funny. It's got heart. It's got emotion. It's got everything. And the fact that I'm arachnophobic and I love this, rock monster that is the shape of a spider. That's crazy.
I got crab vibes. So okay, I got you.
Well, crabs are freaky too. Crabs are like the sea spiders.
Crabs stand up and
when they do their little side dance, that freaks me out too. Don't get me wrong.
If a spider started mimicking me then I'm getting out of that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. But the fact that that Rocky is just, I'm like, oh, this fucking guy. I want like my own little Rocky. And it's like he's literally in the shape of a spider, but it doesn't freak me out, That guy. I love the fact too that the voice of Rocky was actually the puppeteer's voice, because him and Ryan Gosling had such good chemistry that they decided just to use his voice. And I was like, that's freaking cool, because they were going to get a voice actor for it. And they were like, no, we're going to use you because you guys had such good back and forth. So they used the puppeteer's voice. So cool.
I think they'll be all right with if the story. See, the Joker, I'm not a person that says they shouldn't have made a Joker sequel just because the first one was this pristine, untouchable thing. I'm saying do it right.
Yeah,
he made decisions in that movie that weren't good.
There were some good scenes in that movie, but there were some, when I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, the musical aspect maybe just didn't work.
Why are we still in our? We spent that whole movie. We needed to be getting out into town and causing Joker type chaos and involving. It needed to escalate. To me, it didn't escalate. It didn't give me anything that the first one did, and it could have. And so that sequel should have been made. It just should have been done right. Yeah. So there's a difference between, and then you have Top Gun. You have legacy sequels that are Blade Runner 2049. You have instances where sequels do work. But there's just people only remember the bad ones. They only remember the plane crashing. They never remember the plane landing safely. So it's a tough word.
It's one of those things, yeah. But I gotta ask you guys, how do you guys feel about the Metal Gear Solid movie that's going to be in the works?
Oh yeah, they finally announced that, right? With like 2 writers attached to it. That thing's been trying to get. They've been trying to get that off. Didn't what's his name? Jordan Vogt, whatever the hell his name is, the guy who did the
Doc Roberts. Yeah.
Wasn't he trying to do it for a while, and then now he's not going to do it? Now that sucks. Yeah, he was trying to get it off the. Or is he not? He's not a part of it. Yeah.
I remember Collider interviewed him for like half an hour about that, and he was like, this is my pitch, what I wanted to do. And it was literally after, I think, Kong Skull Island. And it's like, I haven't heard anything out of him.
Yeah. And now it's like 2 other dudes that are writing it, or I forgot. Let me look it up. Forgot who got it. But I say I've never really played the game. So I'm not like a big, proponent, like when it comes to talking about it. But yeah, Zack Libovsky and Adam D. Stein, who did Final Destination Bloodlines, are set to direct. So it's going to be a dual directors. Wow. So it's going to be the Bloodline directors. Really? Interesting. So they got it from Sony. Wow. Okay. Because I saw 2 guys. I thought it was like a writer and a director, but they're both writing and directing it. And it's the Final Destination Bloodlines guys, huh? Interesting.
Well, it means the first 15 minutes are going to be wild because that movie was.
Yeah, I mean they know how to do that. I mean, Bloodlines. I'm not saying it was bad. It wasn't the best Final Destination movie, but it was decent. That's funny. Wow. So it was I did not know it was the Final Destination Bloodlines guys. They're supposed to be making another sequel to that too, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're going to keep that
one made a lot of money. So.
See, that's a franchise, a horror franchise that can keep going on. I don't know how many times I could see fucking Nev Campbell, running away from Ghostface. Like, Jesus Christ, I've been over it already, but I'm like, how are we going to keep? I mean, I know they were trying to go a different direction, and that all fell to shit when it came to certain things, because they were like, yeah, let's get away from, Sydney, whatever the hell her name is, the character.
Because her story was done.
Yeah, it's like the story's done. We don't need her anymore. And then it's like and then where they went fell to shit because of all stupid stuff. And then they were like, well, let's just go back to it. And now, Sydney, it's going to be about your daughter. And I'm like, I watched Screen 7 and I was like rolling my eyes the whole time, like going, this fucking sucks. This is terrible. This is like, what the hell? Like, I just, this is how you're going to bring back, what's his name? Matthew Lillard. Oh, that's how you're bringing him back with AI. They're using AI. And I'm like, it's hard to spoil it. It's so stupid. I'm sorry. I don't even.
Yeah. I've heard nothing good about it. I have not heard one good review about it.
They literally do this thing where they just like, the killer's like shown on screens of like past killers, and they're just on a screen because they're AI. And it's like, oh, wow. I was like, wow, that's just so freaking stupid. I'm like, it just, but it was funny because they were building up to like, hey, maybe Matthew Lillard's character is still alive. They were actually building up pretty good, but then it's like it all just fell to shit. Anyway,
you got Daredevil from Matthew Lillard. There you go.
You know what? I like his character. I like his character in Daredevil. Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, you don't like him?
No, I do like it. I like almost everything about that show in the last 2 years that they've has been an improvement for me on the Netflix series. I like the Netflix series, but there are certain things about the Netflix series that people just forget. Sometimes some of the scenes dragged on, that there was too much dialogue sometimes where there should have been other things. The dialogue didn't do the intensity buildup as they're doing now. But one thing I always have to tell myself, this isn't 2015, this isn't 2017. So storytelling has evolved and gotten better, and thus there is a better show. Now I'm watching with a close eye because we're doing watch parties of it. But I said this a couple of weeks ago, the moment it becomes Defenders Light, I'm not part of those watch parties. I can brag and run it. You have 53 minutes to tell a story. I want the Kingpin. I want Matt Murdock. A little bit of Karen Page. Give me a couple episodes without her.
A little Bullseye.
And everybody else is just there to die or get the hell beat out of them.
That last episode of Bullseye, when you see kind of like
that boxing room scene,
his day in the life, which of course they released a trailer that showed like a small part of that. But man, seeing the full scene of like the day in the life of Bullseye where he's like helping out his neighbor, and she's like, "Oh, you're so helpful," and he's he's doing like his whole thing where he's doing his morning routine and shit like that, and then he goes to that diner and then he calls police or calls, get the ATV. What are they? ATV,
ATFP, whatever. Yeah. He kills them all.
And then he's just like, "Oh, the Punisher's here. He's got a gun." And oh my god! And then it's like, all right, get them there. And then, man, and then he just orders a banana milkshake, and just sucks it down. And then he's just like, and then the cops are showing up, and he's like, all right, time to fuck these guys up. And just an awesome scene, opening scene.
He's an example of a major improvement of how they handled that character in its previous generation.
Yeah.
And I hope they fix Elektra. Because that was one of the most disappointing things about the Netflix series is they got the right actress, but her portrayal was just I sped past.
It was kind of forgettable. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it was a little forgettable. Yeah.
So the Bullseye, his viciousness, his cavalier attitude about killing it just to me wasn't there in the Netflix series, and that's one of those things where this is an improvement, a massive improvement on that show. I know the show is much beloved, and I liked it too, but 2015 to 2017 me is not here in 2026. I can't. That doesn't work for me, and that's why I'm worried about what they're about to do with the Defenders. That worries me.
Well, hopefully they can do a good balance where it's not going to be like too overbearing. And it seems like I think we talked about it last week or the week before. We said it seems like they're doing the Luke Cage storyline of him becoming mayor. Yeah, it seems like that is actually going to be a thing. It's just funny because they're just like you try to keep something like that under wraps. There's no way you could do it when you're shooting outside. I mean, and they literally took a picture of all three of them, like Kristen Ritter, and Finn Jones or whatever, and then Coulter. I mean, they're wearing like stuff, but it's like, we know it's you guys. It's like,
if it's an episode, I'm good with it. If it's an episode, but if it becomes
the whole
season,
I would not be. I mean, it's funny because obviously we know that Jessica Jones is showing up in this season. We've seen the trailers, but she hasn't shown up yet. I mean, obviously, in the 4 episodes, she hasn't shown up yet. So she's not pivotal. At least, so it's not like the entire season is revolving around Daredevil and Jessica Jones. I thought when I saw that on Tuesday, when people that have already seen the episode, when they were going like, "Oh yeah, tonight's episode, I can't wait for people to see it. It's like it might be the best one," and blah blah blah. I was going, "Oh, Jessica Jones must be showing up in this one," and she didn't. And I went, "Oh, but this was that boxing episode of Kingpin, getting into the ring, and then of course the Bullseye opening episode, and then getting more with him, and the fact that we get that opening sequence, and then we get them fighting, and then the fact that it's almost like, hey, you're on the same side. He's trying to tell you that he's on the same side, but he's just doing things a little bit differently. When they have their little fight sequence, it's pretty freaking gnarly, man.
And the violence here is more like before in the Netflix series. You had your scenes, you had your violence in there, but it just seems to me like it's much more focused.
Yes,
and it's used as part of the escalation and not just the payoff. The violence throughout these episodes, it's so much better choreographed, and it just seems like there's an intensity that you're always wondering just something awful is about to happen in this show, and you just sit there with that dread. And in the last 2 minutes of these episodes, it's like the majority of the dying either happens in the first 30 seconds or first 2 minutes or at the end, and they do not leave you wanting for violence in this show, and it's beautiful.
No, and then there was like a nice one shot in episode 3 when obviously releasing the people that were in the
cave. Oh, the swordsman.
Yeah,
that was.
Nice. I was like, I rewound it. I was like, oh shit! Like when it was going on, I was like, oh fuck, we're getting a one shot. I mean, obviously, it's not like the one shot like at the hallway sequence in season 1 where it's like I mean, that was like that was a one shot that was like it wasn't. There wasn't. That one was like, hey, the camera is like kind of pulling back as things are happening, and it's not like too crazy. It's really cool. I love one shots, but like there's a lot of choreography that was happening in that one. But this one, that had to do camera tricks and quick edits where like the camera like zooms in and then it bounces out and then it's like bouncing. The camera's kind of moving. Yeah. And it was fucking work. And then I just love it because at the end, like Daredevil, you know, Matt is just and he's just like breathing and just like grunting and he's just like go. Like, I mean, he's a fucking beast in this season, dude. He is a fucking beast. He got, I mean, like I was saying at the beginning, I mean, Charlie Cox put on like 10 or 12 more pounds of muscle in this one. It feels like, I mean, you see him with his shirt off and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's way more jacked than he was in the previous seasons. And even in the suit, and the suit is so freaking awesome looking, obviously. And it's just, you could see it within him where it's like, dude, the dude's just all fucking shoulders now. And it's like, God damn, he's a beast. And I just love that where he's like, when he got done with that whole scene, he was just like, it's like, he's just like, fuck, dude's a fucking beast right now, man. So
in the Billy Club, there was that one scene, and I think it was in this last episode had one, but that fight scene where it's almost like you're following the Billy Club into people's heads.
Yes.
Like, they weren't doing that before.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the thing is like the budget is bigger where they could make, you know, they could be creative like that. And yeah, I mean, even like when it comes to him, like listening just to what they do with the camera angles and like the techniques. Yeah, I mean, everything's going to get improved, you know, when it comes, I think like when it comes to the original Netflix series, it was just more bare bones, just more like grittier. It was grittier, I would say. But this one's more now we're more polished. We have that Marvel Studios money, and it could be grander, and there could be shots where it's like, oh shit, look at that shot, look at that shot. I mean, it feels a little bit. It's just a lot grander because they got that big time Marvel Studios money to pour into it now. Before with Netflix, there wasn't that much, and it was just so they just had to rely on it. And it's gritty. That first season of Daredevil is fucking awesome. It's amazing, you know.
That scene in the first episode, I think the first episode of last season, the first Born Again, where Kingpin and Matt are sitting in that bar.
Yeah.
You take that to Netflix, that you just add like 8 minutes of stuff I don't need to hear to that. That's what they would have done in that one.
They're like, more dialogue, more. Punch it out.
It's just enough. It's just enough. There's just enough talking. Now, there's still some characters that need to go away. The doctor,
the BB report thing, I've never been a fan of. Like,
that unless it leads to something. Like all this could lead to something.
Well, it kind of has that. We found out that she was doing the spoiler alert. Obviously, we're talking spoilers. The fact that she was, you know, doing the fake
parody.
Yeah. I was like actually surprised that they revealed that so early.
I didn't know it was a secret. I thought it was a given. It was her.
Oh, I didn't think so.
Yeah, I thought it was. I didn't when they did the whole reveal.
Yeah,
I'm like that's a reveal. I thought that they were supposed to let us. They were letting us know that was her.
No, I thought that was going to drag on for like, you know, it was going to be revealed like towards the end of the season. I was like, oh, that's going to drag on probably. But as soon as she like stood up, and I just kind of went, oh, it's what's her name, huh? Because it just the frame of the body. I was like, oh, that's female. That's not a dude. And yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. It's interesting. But I just don't like the whole like, oh yeah, when she's interviewing people on the streets and stuff like that. That I think that's a little bit of remnants of what they're initially going for before they started reshooting the first season to bring back Karen and bring back Foggy and all that stuff. Remember at first they were like not going to be in it and it was going to be lighter tone and stuff like that. And then they realized, no, this is not working. So when they did the reshoots, they kept that portion of it in, which I'm like, all right, fine. It doesn't bother me. I could do without it. I'm not like a big, you know, oh yeah, we got this YouTube show that is talking to people on the streets and stuff. I'm like, but all right, I'm fine with it. It's not killing the show for me. I'm still very much enjoying it. So, but yeah.
I mean, I'm enjoying the show. Like I'm actually watching it a day later, and I'm actually enjoying the choreography, the fight scenes, less dialogue, and the fact that we see how huge Charlie Cox is. It's like as Daredevil is like he looks the part now. And what I'm looking forward to though is Punisher, the one shot. That I'm looking forward to.
The special?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
And they showed that trailer. Yeah,
that was a red band trailer too. They did not.
It does not.
If you had any fears about Disney's logo being under with Jon Bernthal's Punisher,
so weird.
Don't worry.
It's so weird to see the Disney logo underneath it, like literally a title that says "One Last Kill," and then when you watch that trailer, you go, "What the fuck? That doesn't even make sense." Because you watch that trailer and it's just it's Punisher being Punisher. You have a grizzled Frank Castle who's seeing things and just and there's just havoc happening on the streets, and then he's just fucking dudes up, and it's all just nuts. And that's good though, because I mean that was another thing that with Daredevil and Punisher and this part of Marvel going to Disney, I think obviously they had worries of, oh, we got to lighten it up because we have our stuff's not like this, but it didn't work. And then I think I even heard that Jon Bernthal, because he co-wrote this, he was about to walk. He was like, you can't water this shit down. You can't water this shit down unless we do what we were like already established and we keep it at this gritty R-rated level. You cannot PG-13. You can't not whitewash, but water it down. You can't like water this shit down. And I think I remember like reading that one of the things that they like Jon Bernthal was like, he was not happy with things as well. And he's like, I'm just going to fucking walk if we're going to water this shit down. And then they said, all right. Yeah. They were like, no, we're right. We got to keep it. We got to keep these two characters at an R-rated level as they were. And now look what's happening. These, 2 seasons of Daredevil Born Again and have worked. And now we're getting a Punisher special, but then we're going to get a PG-13 version of him in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which will be a lot easier to swallow because it comes after this. So.
Yeah. It's going to be, it's not like, I mean, I saw people going, oh my God, we're going to get a PG-13 version of the Punisher. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a Spider-Man movie and he's not going to be in it. He's going to be in it for what? 2 scenes, maybe? It's like 2 scenes. What are we doing here?
3 scenes at max.
Yeah. I mean, we see the scene where he's in the truck where he runs him over, and then that whatever the hell's happening there, and then there's like another shot in the trailer where you see like where Frank is talking to him. He's talking to him, so yeah, and he says something like, "Yeah, you're something, kid," or something like that. I'm like, all right, so they have another conversation. So yeah, we're gonna have a couple of scenes with him at least 2, maybe 3, like I said. But I'm not worried about that. I don't need Frank Castle to be freaking slitting throats and blasting people away and yelling in a Spider-Man movie. I mean,
no,
that's where he debuted. He debuted in the Spider-Man comic, right?
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 129.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fitting. It's fitting. There it is. It's fitting that he shows up in a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And it's funny too. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's another thing is the same thing with Kingpin is both of these guys started out in Spider-Man, but once Frank Miller got a hold of him, he transformed the dynamic of the Punisher. The Punisher was no longer just a guy, shooting, missing, doing all this crazy stuff and getting beat up. Once the Punisher came under the umbrella of Frank Miller, it changed. It transformed the character to what that character would be if you just said out loud, who is this guy? This is a former Army Force Recon or former Marine Force Recon guy who's lost his family, who is proficient in killing at all ranges. And then when you write all that down, you couldn't get anything but the Punisher that Frank Miller gave you. And then Larry Hama took over in a Vietnam vet and took it to another level. And then it just escalated. Garth Ennis, all these things. And that's a case of where the character is what the character is. There is no softening of the character. If you aren't going to do the character, don't do the character. And that's what they've stuck with. No matter who's written him, they don't even have to copy Frank Miller. This is his history. This is who he is. This is what he's been through. This is his skill set. This is what he's gonna do. And the show has captured that to the point where I've always said the other three guys that have played Punisher were cool dudes who put his skull either on their collar or on their chest. But Jon Bernthal, for me, is the only live-action Punisher that I can watch anymore. He has captured the essence of what the character
He embodies the role.
Yeah, I do hope, though, that he gets his very own series, like how Daredevil's got his own series. Like from this one shot leads into a series, maybe in the future, maybe in the next 5 years.
There's one last kill, so it almost seems like this is like his, he's sailing off after. I don't know. We'll see what happens. He might. Just the fact that they're calling it one last kill almost makes it seem like this is it for Bernthal. But who knows? There always could be more. But I love the fact that with bringing Daredevil and Punisher over into the MCU world, that obviously he was in Daredevil Born Again the first season and he was great, fantastic. Not in the second season, but then he's going to get his own special and then he's going to be in Brand New Day, which I'm like, yeah, let's show he's still getting his due. He got 2 seasons over on Netflix and then he's getting a special. And I mean, the special should be like almost movie length, right? Or is it going to be like an hour? I don't know how long the special is going to be.
Ronan, you should know.
Yeah.
Huh?
I heard full 60 minutes.
So it's going to be like an hour?
Yeah, it might be the longest. I think they said it's the longest special yet.
Okay, because the other ones were like 50 minutes, 45.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say, I was like, yeah, it's like one of those, like, because I know the specials are just like, yeah, this is just like one. It's basically just like one episode of, and if you're gonna have go and buy that trailer, it just seems like it's gonna be pure madness the entire time. Like, it's gonna be just. It's gonna be him in where he's at when he's like seeing things and just like seeing his past, and he's like, and then somebody just starts dumping gasoline into where he's at, and then it lights up on fire. I don't know if it's just like maybe it's a whole entire just like dream sequence, but then when you see all the outside chaos and he's just like effing dudes up, it's just gonna be nonstop. It's just gonna be him effing dudes up, and then him getting into his uniform, putting on his armor. And then it's just going to be balls to the wall even more, because we saw the behind the scenes of like, yeah, he like gets out there just in normal clothes and he's just beating fucking dudes up with a bat. But then once he gets his gear and his guns and his knives, oh my God.
it takes it to a whole new different.
It's going to be pure chaos. It's going to be pure chaos, So. Yeah, that's going to be good. And that's April. Or is that May? That's in May?
May.
Yeah.
See, that's what's funny. Is like
12.
Yeah. April is like, okay, especially when it comes to movies. I mean, I was trying to explain this. I was explaining this to, my mom, who just showed up in the chat. Hey, Mom. She just sent me pictures. She just won some money playing Keno. So
nice.
Congratulations, Mom. Yeah, she was like, I just got messages. It was like, oh yeah, she just won some money on Keno. She's at the casino right now. But I was like, I would explain this to people. I was explaining it to her. I was explaining it to like even my dad and other people. I'm like, it's so weird how the summer blockbuster season always technically starts in March, and it did with Project Hail Mary. And then you get a couple weeks where it's like there's nothing, and then you get another movie in April, which was Mario Brothers movie, and that one's killing. And then you get another lull period until you get to May. Like, I was looking, like there was nothing that really came out last week. Or this week, because I didn't go to the movies. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna catch up on TV. But then the next couple of weeks, the next few weeks, it's like, oh yeah, there's stuff that I want to see. And then it gets into May, and it's like, oh okay. Then we get Mandalorian, and we start getting more into the summer blockbuster. But we also get a lot of we get Punisher stuff. Isn't there another series that's coming out? Well, the Harry Potter series is about to come out too, right?
Noir we get later in May.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter stuff comes out at Christmas. It doesn't come out at the beginning.
Oh, it doesn't come out this. Okay, we still got a ways for that.
Yeah.
Maybe because they're releasing that documentary about it or something. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking about. Yeah,
because I noticed as well, Warner Brothers are doing that with Supergirl. because they are showing the behind the scenes stuff for that too. So I'm thinking whatever Warner Brothers is doing with any project now, they're going to show behind the scenes stuff for this big blockbuster films or blockbusters TV shows and stuff. So I reckon that's going to be the case.
Yeah. And I forgot to bring up, sorry, Real Skeptic, thank you for the $5 super chat. I meant to bring this up right here. He said SAG goes back to the negotiating table April 27th. If no deal is reached, they will strike, which will delay filming of the Batman Part 2 and Man of Tomorrow. Oh boy. I thought I heard that they were already trying to make deals and make sure that doesn't happen. So that's what I heard. I don't know. I just heard that they were already actively trying to prevent that to happen. But I know, that was going to be a thing too. So hopefully not. Hopefully that doesn't. And again, I apologize for not bringing that up sooner. But I was like, I remember hearing something about that. But I thought I heard something where they were already trying to and they were closing on negotiations already. I mean, I know not finalized, but I think they were already trying to get ahead of it. Who knows?
Yeah, they need to, because what happened, you wouldn't talk about a behavior that kills the brick and mortar theaters, another strike and pushing the traffic. And because you're not going to just push all those movies to one dense area. You're going to end up having to push some of those movies 6, 7, 8 months down the line because your other scheduled movies have to get into those screens. So anybody who's worried about the death of cinema, these are the kind of things that push it closer to the grave. So hopefully they get it worked out.
Yeah, God, that would suck. That would freaking suck if that happened. We don't need another strike. Hollywood does not need another strike. That's just gonna hurt so many things, especially if it affects the Batman too. I mean, this thing's been in the works for so long, and we finally have a set date, production. We have actors. We have who they're playing. We know it's happening. Where a lot of people are going, Batman 2 ain't happening. Batman 2 ain't happening. And now we're finally getting there. And if a strike happens, Jesus Christ.
It's just crazy.
It would kill the momentum, and then it would kill, obviously when it comes to Man of Tomorrow, it would kill that momentum too, because the hype for Supergirl, the hype is there. It's not stellar, of course, but we'll see what happens as it gets closer. I still think that movie is going to do decent. It doesn't need to make as much as Superman, obviously. I think it's a lower budget, but you never know. It could end up doing. That would be crazy if Supergirl ended up doing better than Superman, just because of good word of mouth, and that could happen. You never know. Where it's people just love Amelia Alcock and love the dynamic between her and the girl who plays Ruthie and Jason Momoa. It all just fits. It's like how Project Hail Mary is doing, where it's things just fit, where it's who would have known that Ryan Gosling talking to a fucking rock spider thing was so goddamn so much heart, and the movie just flowed. So that movie is 2 hours and 36 minutes, and you don't feel it. It's just such a freaking good movie from start to finish. There's just enough of everything in there that gives the moviegoer so much to walk away and be like, oh wow, I just really enjoyed that. Maybe Supergirl will have some of that. I don't know. It's always, I always hope for that when it comes to superhero movies, where I'm like, please give me, this, that, or this, and it could have good word of mouth, or it could completely flop. You never know. Yeah, you never know. But I don't think it completely flop.
I think it'll be word of mouth, honestly. Just beyond that. So
I think the content might be its biggest. The story is going to be its biggest hurdle to cross. Not saying it can't cross it, but this is not a traditional type story that you would attach to this type of character. And I'm all for it, because I think it's a great story. It's underrated.
So do I.
It's sat on the shelves way too long. But I always say people have this old-fashioned peripheral view of some of these characters that creates headwinds. And they may or may not accept this type of story. Drunk Supergirl having issues, watching her, but it all makes sense. If you read Woman of Tomorrow, everything that she does and she's going through, it makes sense. if you give the story a chance. I just don't know. I just don't know if people will or want to go that deep in depth into that type of character.
Yeah, that's what's going to be interesting, because obviously it was already like when the first teaser came out. I mean, you know, when news broadcasts were talking about it, they're like, what? She's like some drunk Supergirl, and blah, blah. You know, my dad was like talking about it. He's like, yeah, I saw about this, and what? She's like, Supergirl's like getting drunk. I'm like, Dad, well, the story is this, and I had to like explain. You know, I was like, this is the story. You know, this is why she's just like this. But it's like that whole thing where she has to get to that point of, you know, where she's going to be the Supergirl that she should be. It'll get to that point. You know, you gotta. It's just a different take. But I've seen, you know, out there too where people are just like, both the teaser and the trailer, they're like, nope, this ain't it. And I'm like, all right.
Because it is in their head as this cartoon. Yes, a lot of them will have a cartoon version. They'll have if they're older, they'll have a Helen Stater, depending on where you're at. This isn't the one that Tom King's bringing through. And those Supergirls or Superwomen, those stories didn't entail her watching her world die. See, that's the difference between her and Clark Kent, is that she watched the world die. She was older. She came later, or she watched Krypton die. He didn't. Yeah, so the automatic comparisons are going to be, well, how come she can't be more like Superman? Because they did not go through the same things. And that's what Tom King was trying to express during that series. And I think he did an awesome job. I think it would be a great movie. But you have, all depends on where your influences of Supergirl came from. Most of these guys have never, I hate to say this, most of these guys have never picked up a comic. I wish more of them would. They know these characters from these mediums. They know Melissa Benoist. They know that Supergirl, or they know Supergirl from a Justice League cartoon. They haven't, you know, and I'm not saying this to knock anybody, but they have chosen a different route to get familiar with these characters. But this route intersects with an actual story that actually is pretty good. I hope they give it a chance.
Yeah, that's what we can hope for. That's what the good word of mouth is gonna actually have to show. Where it's like, where people, you know, the people who see it just like, holy shit, this actually was pretty good, because, you know, but yeah, I mean, but obviously there's always gonna be the negative Nellies out there that are already like saying this and that, and it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what presence they have at Cineacon. And then, of course, I even thought I heard that when it comes to the Sony panel, like, I thought I heard that Zendaya and Tom Holland are going to be present at Cineacon. I don't know if that's true. I just saw something on my feed that said they might be there. So there's going to be some Spider-Man stuff. I don't know.
They might show scenes, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
At this point, I'd rather see something for Beyond the Spider-Verse at this point.
I know. What the fuck? God damn.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm waiting for. Listen, I love live action Spider-Man movies, but my top two Spider-Man movies are Into and Across from Spider-Verse. After that, it's Spider-Man 2. Then you get your first Tom Holland movie for me, which is No Way Home. Those are the top four for me.
Homecoming?
No, I don't know.
Homecoming.
No Way Home is okay. So it's Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, the Raimi one, and then after that it's No Way Home, and then anyone's from 5 up, it's a toss-up. But those are my top 4 that generally don't budge.
Yeah, it's funny because
it's crazy because they always say that Sony is reliant on Marvel and Disney Studios to make Spider-Man movies. The best Spider-Man movies have nothing to do with Disney.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're great. It's funny too because I forgot to bring it up when I was talking about like how people are complaining about that. You know, again, that Man of Tomorrow is going to have like, it's not just a standard Superman movie, and James Gunn can't do a standard Superman movie. And I was trying to make the point that, well, in modern day, when you have this kind of character in a universe that has already existing characters, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do? You can't really do anything with that, especially if a world event is happening. And I was gonna bring up more of the point that, I mean, look at Tom Holland's Spider-Man. There's not been a Spider-Man movie that does not have another hero in it. You know, two Iron Mans, you know, for the first 2, and then Doctor Strange, And then this one, Punisher, we know. Daredevil, probably 100%. The Hand's in there. And then who knows who else is going to show up? Oh, the Hulk. Yeah.
The Hulk,
Banner's in there.
Yeah,
so
they could total 8 minutes of scenes, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could
But that's the thing. Well, if you look at Superman, the Justice Gang is in there for 7 minutes. Somebody broke it down. 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Altogether, the Justice Gang. I mean, it's like, because they're scattered around, so it makes it feel like they're in the whole movie. But if you break it down, the entire screen time is like 7-8 minutes. There's not Guy Gardner's not in there in every fucking scene. No, neither is Hawk Girl or Mr. Tree. And but yeah, that's the point. It's like, but when Man of Tomorrow, you're gonna get Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart's gonna be a part of it, and Justice Gang is gonna be back. And with this whole Maxima, I mean, Ron and I kind of briefly talked about this. How are you guys feeling about like a possibility that there's like so there's the rumor out there from, Mr. Snyder. My theory was the fact that Maxima is going to be in it, but maybe they are secretly casting for Wonder Woman as well. His thing is like it's a fucking front for them casting Wonder Woman. I don't know how you guys are feeling about that. Do you think that there is a secret casting for Wonder Woman that's happening with all this?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think once Wonder Woman is cast, it'll be announced because that's going to be a huge selling point. But at
the same time, they might wait. I mean, obviously, they're not going to wait until the movie is like already out. They're gonna eventually have to be like, hey, guess what? So and so is in this movie. And then I'm also thinking, again, going back to we don't know what the future holds. So if you're gonna have a movie like this where Brainiac is attacking the Earth, why wouldn't you, if a Wonder Woman exists in this world, why wouldn't you bring her in there for, to help fight the battle? And then why wouldn't you not bring a Batman also? So I don't know.
If you guys, not everybody's on here, they're a comic book nerd, and that's cool. If you've read DCKO,
okay,
yeah,
the explanation that Time Trapper Doomsday gives Superman for why this is all happening and why you are the guy at the end. Your existence here sets in motion almost everything. And he pulls out this whole thing where Superman's existence and involvement in that reality sets about even alternate versions of the Legion of Superheroes don't happen without a younger version of Superman. So everything revolves around him in some haphazard way. So having him in a movie where other beings come into it is appropriate because that is literally what Superman is. And when you look at the Absolute universe, it's the flip side. It's probably going to end up being Absolute Batman, but it's primarily Darkseid. But when you have somebody who is the catalyst for your universe, that's why when people say, well, I wish we'd have had another solo Catwoman movie, I'm like, no. The logical sequel to Man of Steel to me was BVS. I was okay with other people coming in with that.
Yeah.
I didn't need him because Superman is the catalyst. Darkseid, and he's in the comics as well. There are beings that stay the hell away from Earth when they know Superman is there because they can't take him. So he's the catalyst in so many different ways that it makes sense that other heroes would be around when he's there.
Even if Zack were to have made that, obviously if he made a direct sequel to Man of Steel, maybe he probably would have hinted even more of an expanded universe because he already was hinting that in Man of Steel. And then, of course, when he did BVS and he put Batman on the table and he was like, let's do it like this. And it's kind of funny because, when I tweeted out my tweet and then people were like, Man of Steel was a solo movie. I'm like, yes, it was, but it was the first movie of this universe. There was nothing established yet. But then in the next movie, we find out that that dude that dresses like a bat was running around the streets during the event. We just didn't know about it. And then we didn't know that there was a Wonder Woman who walked away from humanity. So, and then we didn't know that a certain soldier that was in the fucking control room was Martian Manhunter. It's like
and they're all there because of that guy.
Yeah, so
they all make their moves because of that guy. See?
That's what's so funny when people are like when they're pushing back on this and I'm like, no. In modern day, it's like if you have a universe and you have a world event, you have something that's happening that the whole world is like watching. You have to have the other people involved. It's just there's no ifs, ands, or buts. But as long as you don't take away from the fact that it's still a Superman movie, he's still centric, That's, it's obviously it's not, when people go, it's, Superman was Guardians of the Galaxy. No, it wasn't. Justice King was in there for 7-8 minutes. Superman was in it majority of the time. Lois was the second in line. And then because somebody broke it down, I saw it on my Twitter feed. And it was, Superman, Lois, and Luthor had the most screen time. Krypto even didn't have that much screen time as people thought. It's just so funny how people think that just because they're placed in different parts of the movie throughout in a 2-hour movie, they're in it the whole time. It's like, no, so many scenes where it was just Superman. Just
also how it's promoted.
Yeah, that too.
I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
Right? How do you guys feel if Millie Alcock's Supergirl appears in Man of Tomorrow?
Oh, she definitely is.
I believe
because
it.
Yeah.
I have this inkling feeling that at the end of Supergirl, it leads into Man of Tomorrow.
Yes.
And what I feel is going to take inspiration.
I think she's gonna see some kind of. She's gonna see like Brainiac's ship out there, or something like that.
Or she'll get attacked by Brainiac's ship. It'll be like a Thor type of situation where
like
their
in
ship on their way to Asgard was intercepted.
Yeah, I think she's gonna come across Brainiac, and after she's done her stuff, and now she's the hero. She is now that Supergirl that they want her to be, that people want her to be. And yeah, she's gonna come across.
The hell kicked out of her and shot back into Earth like a comet.
Yeah, something.
What happened? What happened? He's coming.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to. She's definitely going to be. She's going to have a pivotal role in Man of Tomorrow. I feel.
Yeah, she has to.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have. They can do whatever they want to, but Brainiac on some of the stuff he did. I mean,
yeah. I definitely think like she's gonna have a very pivotal role in Man of Tomorrow for sure, and that's cool too. Like again, I mean, when people are like freaking out about it, I'm like, and that's why I even told me, I'm like, hey guys, I'm like, I get it. Okay, James Gunn, he's a little one noted. He writes ensemble type of movies where he has groups, sure, but at the same time, I'm going, all right, but then we got 3 more DCU projects that are coming out this year that aren't like that. Supergirl, yes, partially ensemble because you have Lobo, you have Ruthie, and Krypto, but for the most part, it is Supergirl story. And yeah, Superman's in it. He's gonna have, the telephone, video phone scene, and then he's supposed to have another scene too. But for the most part, it's just Supergirl movie. Clayface is, for all we know, Mr. Terrific ain't showing up in fucking Clayface. Lanterns, for all we know, Guy Gardner and just another Lantern is going to be showing up in that. We're not going to be any Superman. Not going to be. I don't know.
I think he shows up at the end. You know what?
Yeah.
I think that
so?
Guy Gardner is Hal Jordan's replacement, and that this story takes place before the events of Superman. I think Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan, either he goes off into space and leaves the sector, retires, because he's retiring at the beginning of that scene. Or he is killed. The fact that only Jon Stewart has been announced in any of these other subsequent projects means that he is, in my opinion, he is the Green Lantern of 2814, but he's a senior Green Lantern because there could be 2 or 3. But I don't hear that much mention of Kyle Chandler or Hal Jordan beyond.
No, I mean, they immediately. I mean, one of the reports was that Aaron Pierre is 100% in Man of Tomorrow and not Kyle Chandler. Yeah. So I mean, everybody immediately went, "Oh, fuck."
I just hope it's not Parallax. Oh my God, please don't. Please don't do that.
You don't want the Parallax?
No, because listen, Jeff Johns. I'm going to give Jeff Johns credit. Jeff Johns. Call him whatever you want to call him, but his run on Green Lanterns, what he did for Green Lantern,
he did great with Green Lantern. He did
that whole Hal is crazy because of the Parallax thing. Just to buy him out, that was just too much for me to eat, and I don't want to see that in a film. And they're also, well, we're gonna do. They're only calling it lanterns because there's other colors of lanterns. Remember I said before that story started off brilliant, but it's like the Infinity, the Soul Gem situation where it started out and it just got so big and it just went so many directions, and it just was like, I don't know if you're going to want to do that starting off a universe. Maybe obviously you're going to deal with the Yellow Lanterns because you're dealing with Sinestro, but I don't know, do we have all the spectrum in here for this show? I mean, how big how big a part of that is that going to be? I think they called it Lanterns because it just sounds cooler.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, it's gonna be, and then, but I'm just like, again, I'm like,
I would take the Spectre. Somebody in there, brew, yeah, dude, give me the Spectre because then he just goes away. But I don't want to. Parallax led to 0 Hour, and if you want to look up clusterfucks of DC over the last 30 years, 0 Hour's up there with Crisis.
There you go. So I don't know. We'll see what I mean. That's what's so curious about this year is just the fact that there's no full-on James Gunn stuff. We're not getting the James Gunn full-on, not the full-on formula. A little bit of the formula because obviously when you see Supergirl, yes, you see. But I mean, there's no way that there was that kind of story of Supergirl out in the cosmos. There was no way that people were not going to compare it to Guardians. I mean, that's why I was even like when it came out and I was pushing back. I'm like, I was like saying to people, do you actually have an actual critique besides that it looks like Guardians? I'm like, just give me like something else besides it looks like Guardians, because I get it. It does.
The standard.
Yeah. So give me an actual critique. And thankfully, sometimes when I did push back, they actually did. I was like, they didn't like the whole drunken Supergirl. They were like what we talked about. They like the traditional Supergirl, not my Supergirl kind of thing. Go ahead, William.
When you brought this up a couple weeks ago, and then the whole Guardians of the Galaxy thing, is been redesigned since Akira Kurosawa, since Sergio Leone, the seven. All these group, the one person meets up, needs help taking on this big thing, and along his or her way, he meets these
James
people.
Gunn didn't invent that.
That's been doing that and you know what? It works.
It works. Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like James Gunn didn't invent it. He just put it into a spot where we did not expect it to work. Which, like when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I remember watching. I didn't really know about the Guardians of the Galaxy back in 2014, and then when that first trailer, I remember when it leaked online, I was like, "Oh, we're getting that." And I remember watching it. It was like a crappy fucking pixelated piece of shit. But I was like, "Oh wow, this trailer's kind of cool," because it had music. It had it just showed some cool visuals. Showed the characters, showed them standing when they were being checked in and they were getting their picture taken. And you had the whole and I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of digging this. This is something different. This is different. This is something we haven't seen before, And I remember after it came out, I remember talking with people. I remember, during that time where I didn't have the Vodka stream going, but I was doing a podcast with somebody else, and we were talking about it and talking about how much we enjoyed it when it came out. And then we had some guests on when that was all happening. People were just nuts about that movie. And so it's nothing, it's not, again, it was one of those things where I always say, it's not that sometimes these filmmakers are not they're not reinventing the wheel so much, but they're just letting you know that, hey, the wheel still works. Let's just tweak it a little. Let's tweak it a little bit. Let's tighten it up, and then maybe add a little bit more of this, and then the wheel is now a lot. It's different, it's smoother.
The Avengers. Yeah, the Avengers. It was Hulk being attacked by Loki. Yeah, and they gathered to stop Loki. One person started it, and then and it's been used over and over again. People just don't recognize it because when you do it right, it seamlessly fits into what you're doing.
Yeah,
the Seven Samurai, I call it the Seven Samurai formula. It's been used everywhere. If Quentin Tarantino chooses shit, it works. Yeah. And it just, I just think that people just take the surface elements off of it, and that's it. Guardians of the Galaxy is nothing new. It was just repackaged into something that was relatable to us as superheroes, and it was already in a universe that was already doing bonkers. So
that helped. That helped. Yeah, you're not going to start a universe with Guardians of the Galaxy, but at the same time, that movie just, even that movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn ended up helping the Infinity Saga because he helped write in further along Thanos and the Infinity Stones. So that actually so it was pivotal within the Infinity Saga too, to further along what Thanos' quest was. So that, so he helped, pioneer that whole Infinity Saga and move it along to get to its conclusion, at least, when it came to that. So, with obviously with certain characters that are in relation of Thanos. But yeah, I mean, the fact that Thanos was heavily shown in that movie, it's like, it was almost like the villain was kind of forgettable. What's his name?
Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah, he was, a little forgettable, but everybody remembers that Thanos was also in there, and it further along that at least. But what was memorable was the group. It was the Guardians. Everybody loved the Guardians and their dynamic and their chemistry, and all that. So that's what did it. Yeah, the villain was super weak, but at the same time, it did what it needed to do. It showed something fresh in the MCU. It furthered the Infinity Saga, and it created this group of misfits that everybody loved. And then, obviously the sequel and stuff, sequels kept it going. Second one, of course, people are like, it took a little dip. Not as strong, but then the third one was pretty strong. So
yeah, it's just something of a semi-solid trilogy, I might think, even though 2 is a dip.
Like the second one's not unwatchable. It's just choices. I'm like, all right,
yeah.
Kurt Russell was fine, but I was like, it just felt like his character needed, I don't know,
story
more.
Ego. That story.
Yeah.
Lost me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it's like, I remember when it was announced that it was Ego that was going to be a part of it. I was like, how are you going to pull that off? And he did his best, and he got a good actor to do it. And for the most part, it was like, all right, but. And then the third one, with the whole backstory of Rocket, and
that was depressing,
dude. I was like,
if you love animals, if you're an animal lover, you're watching.
I hate this. We'll go for it. Let's do it.
And the fact, I mean, again, and then when people are like, oh, when they look at Superman, it was all about the dog. I'm like, it wasn't all about the dog, but I know part of it was about the dog. And then they're like, Supergirl, but the dog. I'm like, well, it's not.
That dog's important. Dave, have you read Woman of Tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Very important. Yeah, I know.
This dog, people are dismissing the dog. It's like, he's literally the reason why she wants to fuck this guy up.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, but that's why, like, when Gillespie was like, oh yeah, it's partially John Wick. And when people were like, wait, what? I'm like, the dog, guys, come on. You're looking into it. It's not like she's going around and doing gun fu. Obviously she's gonna fuck dudes up, but I mean, it's the dog. It's the dog. The dog is very pivotal. Yeah. You read the story. That's why I was shocked that in the trailer they actually showed. Oh shit, they're showing Krem fucking doing that. I mean, I think we all assumed when we saw the teaser, when you see her when you see Krypto like on the fucking bed and he's like out, and she's petting and kind of crying, and I was like, oh shit, they are doing it, but. I didn't think they were actually going to show that in the trailer, but it's very pivotal to the plot. So
it's a premise. And her dad, their dad getting killed, and her trying to hire that starts the whole story out. But the dog is the connection to us.
Yeah,
the dog is the connection to us.
But I mean, that's again, that's where as James Gunn, he thrives on ensemble. He thrives on CGI animals to make us feel feelings. Because again, going back to Guardians 3, I'm going, why am I fucking getting choked up by CGI animals in this movie? God damn it, dude. Like,
now they're talking to you and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, and that's the thing. It's like, he's
pivotal in Superman too, because when remember when she says, He's about to get up and go. He's got to go find Krypto. Yeah. And Lois is like, he's just a dog.
He's like,
but it's somebody that needed to be saved. It's somebody that was in distress that needed to be saved. Dog, human, doesn't matter. I'm going to get him.
Yeah, so he goes, yeah, he's probably somewhere scared.
He's alone and he's scared. Yeah, no, she's not even a good one. But
he's not even a good one. Yeah. He's not even like, he knows he's a pain in the ass, but at the same time, it was just kind of showing that. And even Kevin Smith said that, like when his review, he was like, he's all that part. I think he said that part choked him up because he was like, it was showing Superman that even though the dog is a pain in the ass, he was still like, he's somewhere alone and scared, and I got to get him,
That's Clark. That's Cal. Like, the only part of
that's across the board.
Yeah. I love that scene. The only thing that even me being a James Gunn fan and fan of that movie, I'm like, we did not have to like focus in on the background.
Yeah,
like just knowing it's happening is enough for me. But like, stay with Lois, stay with Clark in that moment, because I was like, that's it.
That's
like,
James. That's where James Gunn.
I remember we were trying to figure that out.
That's where James Gunn kind of gets annoying, where it's like when you have a heavy emotional scene, he always breaks it with something. You know, he always has a knack to be like, you know, when you're having an emotional scene. I mean, he doesn't do it all the time, but yeah, sometimes he'll just like have a scene where it's like, oh, this is like two characters are like, you know, getting into it, and then all of a sudden he breaks it with some kind of humor. And yeah, that scene with the background, yeah, that kind of like, but at the same time, I kind of appreciated it because it was just like Superman was like, they got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I kind of like the fact that it was like, oh yeah, the Justice Gang, they got it. They got whatever that blip thing is and everything like that. Talati, I know you got to take off.
Yeah, I've got to take off. Sorry that I
no problem, man. I'm glad you spent some time with us. Always great talking to you, man. Promote.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a CinemaCon reaction stroke discussion stream.
I'm trolling that stream. Why? Or okay, all right.
Don't worry, Jared's not going to be there. Don't worry, he's not going to be on the panel. So it's all right.
No, hey, that's too easy. I showed my Tom King. All I gotta do is bring up Tom King. I wanted Tom King. If I had enough time, I was gonna have Tom King send him like a cameo type message to be, "Hey, Jared, I know you love me," and Tom King, just as a joke, but the line was too long. I couldn't get back.
Yeah. So but yeah, I'm gonna be doing a CinemaCon reaction, like scrolling through Twitter as it updates, because I reckon I did that last year, so I'm doing that again this year.
Do it.
And I'm also going to be doing some content based around the Harry Potter stuff, for like my honest opinion on the TV series and why I'm excited about it. So I'm going to be doing a video.
I'm actually kind of not excited, but I'm intrigued. More so when you mention Harry Potter to me, it's like I'm an armadillo. I curl up and I roll away.
Yeah, I'm the same way. But I'm kind of intrigued myself. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
we might have to do watch parties if I have to drop Daredevil.
There you go.
We'll do it. But anyway, thanks for having me on, Dave. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and
you too, man.
Hope you have a wonderful night. Take care, guys.
Take care, Claudia.
All right, bye.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah, because
Superman's a pretty dark movie, by the way.
Yeah. Superman. The
2025. It's when I watched it, and I knew what it was about, and I'm like, I'm hearing all the people saying it's so bright and it's so colorful. This is the way Superman is so hopeful, and I'm like, I want to take it to the stores and I want to just slam people's ears in it because you clearly don't know what the word hopeful means.
No.
If you can't watch a Superman, you can watch every version of Superman, and you can find some of that in every single version. Even in Man of Steel, where people say it's a funeral for 2.5 hours, you can find the same aspects. It's just that different creators have started at different points of that storytelling, and nobody can respect.
I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. I'm like Zack nailed it for 2013, 2015 when it came to BVS 16, whatever. Like when it came to that time, and that was like that's where like the internet was just getting, social media was starting to blow up. 2026, 2025, now you got the internet that's like full on. So like when you have like the fucking Lex Luthor doing the fucking monkey thing and everything like that, and the fact that like information is just traveling so fast, and then all of a sudden it's like Superman saves the day, and all of a sudden he gets handed a phone, and the leaked message from his parents gets translated, and it's all so quick, and I'm like, and that's dark too, because literally you're seeing a message from your parents,
a private message
that is saying, "Hey, son, conquer the earth and make babies."
It's like as many women as you want to.
Dark.
Yeah, the abuse of the animal, the abuse of the dog. I mean, he's being abused.
Bender, that was the one that I remember being like they're not gonna do it. And then you hear the shot, you're like, oh Jesus.
Oh yeah, when he shoots him in the head, and that was.
And even Luthor was like, I didn't think that was gonna happen so quick. And it was like, but it was like, shit like that. It's like, I know, you're right. It's like when people, because everybody wants to pin like, oh, James Gunn's doing this and doing that. And I'm like, did you even fucking watch the movie? I mean, he's not. And then it's funny too, because I even say like to some of these people that you know, like I get it. You don't like his style. It's fine. But when you're saying that, oh, he's making things for kids, I'm like, really? James Gunn?
Yeah,
like
that guy,
his humor is very adult.
Like
his humor is very adult. You know, I'm like, that's for kids. I'm like, I don't think that's for kids. I mean,
I still joke with the first Guardians jokes. So like, there's a Jackson Pollock painting joke in there. And I was just like, yeah.
I still prefer Man of Steel, though, if you had to ask me. But that didn't mean I couldn't enjoy it because I use the word when I did my review, there's a certain majesty.
Yes.
When it comes to Man of Steel, that's just not in Superman 2025.
No.
It's just not
it's two
there.
different styles. It's two different styles, which I enjoy both the styles. But I'm with you. Like, if it were like, hey, you know, what Superman movie did you watch? I would watch Man of Steel over all of them, even over the Donner ones. See, you know, because that's just that resonated with me the most. But that doesn't mean I hate the Donner Supermans or I hate James Gunn Superman. No, I enjoy all of it. I mean, maybe not
your preference.
Maybe not Quest for Peace, but hey.
No, after Superman 2, it's over with. After Superman 2, it's over with. I don't even.
But I can find enjoyment in Superman Returns. I could find some enjoyment in Superman Returns. There's things that are good. That airplane sequence in Superman Returns is fucking awesome, I think. I think they did a fantastic job with that airplane sequence. But there's some, you know, other choices in there. I was like,
Superman Returns?
Yeah, Superman Returns. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you froze up for a second. Yeah, that is a great scene. That's not a good movie, but that's a great scene.
The plane sequence, they nailed that one. But other things are a little
I love the Lois and Clark interview in the James Gunn Superman movie. Damn, these are valid points on both sides, and like, dude, I'm being like, oh man, this is so good.
I mean, the fact that he even said, I think James Gunn even said, he's like, the fact that you put a scene of pure dialogue between two characters in a superhero movie that goes on that long, that's risky. That's freaking risky. That is super risky. And, you know, and of course, you know, the people that rip it apart, I'm like, all right, fine, rip it apart, whatever the hell. But at the same time, I'm like, I really love that scene. I love that scene because it shows Lois Lane as Lois Lane. She fucking, I mean, it's what's great about that scene is the fact that you know, it's Lois that's being Lois. She's like, all right, I'm gonna turn it on. You're not gonna like it. And then even Clark goes from Clark to Miss Lane. You know, he turns into Superman. And then all of a sudden, he thought he was gonna get some softball questions. Doesn't get softball questions, and then he starts, you know, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing here? You know?
Yeah.
And it kind of
like she makes fun of him. It's like you cock up your shit and leave every time you get mad. It's like
And again, I think he realized that like people like me appreciate that those scenes more now than just seeing a cool action sequence. And I love cool action sequences, but it's like,
I love dialogue sequences.
Oh yeah, like I mean, I go back to Captain America: Civil War. Like my favorite scene in that movie, and I like that movie a lot, is the debate scene when Vision nails the thing of like, you know, oversight, and then seeing both sides talking. Like that's the best scene. That's what the movie's about for me. And I'm just like,
well, one of my favorite
scenes to get to it.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes. I think my favorite scene in David Ayer's Suicide Squad, obviously not fully his Suicide Squad, but that bar scene when all the characters, before they are gonna go to the final battle, they just sit at that bar and they just talk. I love that scene. And I'm like, that's cool because they're all now just like, you know, kind of just like, hey, we got to do this thing. And, you know, I'm fucked up. You're fucked up. And even, you know, Flag just breaks the fucking device. He's like, fuck this. You know, you guys can go if you want to. I'm not going to hold you hostage. You know, and then, you know, they talk. And I'm like, these kind of scenes are really cool. I love these kind of scenes.
That's camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yes.
That actually works in James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah.
James Gunn's Suicide Squad has that too.
When Star's attacking the city and
and he made me give a shit about Starro. Starro got fucked over in that movie.
Did he?
Starro got fucked over in that last scene. That last scene where they were killing Starro.
The general was talking.
I was happy. Yes. I was happy up in the stars, floating, and then he dies, and I'm like, wow, that was deep.
Yeah, like that, like, and them all decided to like, all right, we're gonna do this, and you see the people in the room like hit wall and be like, yo, we're not gonna let these people die, and it's like, all right, let's help them take care of this space starfish. And I love how even how it ends is like they don't get their all wraps because Flag wanted to leak the info, and he's like, we just saved the city, we can't have it all, like we're gonna get out of here, like.
Yeah, and that's where you see the Peacemaker crew coming in, fucking everything.
Oh man, but yeah, it's I don't know. The discourse is all friggin' dumb and everything like that. But what can you do? But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like, hopefully, there's no strikes in Man of Tomorrow and the Batman 2 and everything like that. I mean, it's kind of crazy that we're actually gonna have a Superman movie and a Batman movie filming at the same time.
Yeah.
How often do you have that?
What?
How often do you have the fact that we're having a Superman movie and a Batman movie filming at the same time? Kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah. Well, because of the circumstances, you're not going to have that. And it's two different types of...
Yeah. Sadly, it's not obviously the same universe, but, what can you do?
But that's DC, that you can do both. You can do it.
It should never be, locked down to that. And that's the whole thing. That if we'd have had the Scott Snyder mentality back in 2016, 2017, everybody would be at the table, would be happy. We might be like saying stupid shit about the other, but you know what? Secretly, they'd be watching it, and we'd be watching other stuff. Because when DC's strength is diversity. It's the diversity of these characters that have been around nearly 90 years. Because every generation is going to have a different point of view of how they perceive these characters, and they should all be there. And you shouldn't have to lay waste to one to do the other. And that's a mentality that, I hope they adopt permanently.
The lanterns, that's what I love so much about the lanterns, that like someone gets a new style when they put on that ring. John is nothing like Kyle, and Kyle is nothing like Hal, and none of them are like Guy. And it's like you have your pick and choose one on. Like I appreciate that. And people worry like this is gonna confuse audiences and whatnot. I'm like, you know what?
The audiences are not that stupid. People think audiences.
I like to think, especially people who go to the movies, that they can do enough to catch up and be like, okay, I know where we're at. I know that this doesn't belong in the same place.
It's so funny because when people say that, I'm with you, William. People who are just casual moviegoers or whatever that don't really know the stuff, you either have a friend that knows this shit and you just ask them. Obviously, I'm like that friend for my friends. But then, of course, you could just look up shit online. You can look up and find all this shit where people explain things. You have unlimited access to all this stuff. I mean, that's the thing is like, no matter what, you have unlimited access to like, hey, I don't know what's going on. What's this character? What's that? You just type it in your phone and you find tons of videos. You now have AI that could just break it all down for you and link you to videos or articles or whatever the fuck. It's like, and I think like it'd be nice if like even like studios like obviously they do the DC Studios has done a good job of being like, hey, this Superman movie is kind of based off All-Star Superman, so do this, and hey, this Supergirl movie is based off Woman of Tomorrow, so and they're selling books, which is good, and that shows you right there that works when you put out the information of like, hey, if you want to know what helped craft this movie or series, here are these books right here. If you want to get some information about the character or characters, here it is right here. But it'd be nice too if like, you have like information right here. We got, there's videos, there's articles, there's all this kind of stuff too. It's like, there's so much information out there. And I find myself too, where I just I'll even tell my friends, I'm like, well, you have this thing called Google, or you can go on YouTube and just be like, just find it right there. Like, but I'll even see people on Twitter where they literally will type in a tweet to ask a question about something. I'm like, I have to like restrain myself to be like, you could just put this in Google and find your question like that. You'll get your answer. Why are you asking your followers on Twitter? Stop doing that.
They're going to give you non-subjective answers.
It's just because they craving interaction. So.
That's be careful what you ask for, I guess.
But that's the thing. That's the bad part. That's the bad part is that when you do that, you're gonna end up. You could open up a fucking Pandora's box and just welcome in a bunch of fucking assholes, and it's like, just don't do that. Don't do that. That's why it's like, just ask questions about, hey, what do you think about this, or what are you feeling about that, or how are we feeling about certain things, But just when I see something like that, I'm like, no, just get your information somewhere else, and then maybe apply that information to your tweets where it's like, well, how are you feeling about this? I mean, that's why I've always felt about, like, when it comes to social media, or like how I have approached social media, or even doing like polls on YouTube or something like that. I want to know, like, how are you feeling about this? I want to know how you're feeling. I'm not trying to get answers about things. How are you feeling about this certain stuff, And that's always been the way I've always kind of approached certain things. So,
and the biggest thing that recent DC, at least since maybe 2024, has abandoned is that they don't think their fans are as stupid as they thought they were in previous iterations. Like the question you would get would, and everybody would always say, well, they can't do this with this guy, or they can't do, they're not going to make another Batman movie because Robert Pattinson, and they're not going to do this. And I'm like, what you're basically saying is your fans are idiots, or that your creators are idiots, when neither is the case. You don't give them credit. If a 12-year-old person can figure out Crisis, then I'm pretty sure an adult can figure out why that Batman is coming from that universe, why that Batman is coming from this universe, why this Justice League is here, why this is here. And it's going to confuse fans. I'm like, no, if you're catering to dummies, but you're not catering to dummies. You're catering to people who can literally read and engage in these things. And it's been debunked before it even starts, because you had 3 different Spider-Men on the screen from 3 different generations. You have 2 Godzilla coming out in 4 months within each other, and nobody got confused there. Fans aren't as stupid as other fans think.
Yeah, but if you're putting out good quality content, and like you said, like the Godzilla stuff, it's like you have the Blockbuster, turn your brain off. Hey, we're just gonna watch some fucking Titans beat the shit out of each other, and some cities are going to get leveled, and we're going to have some humans doing some shit, whatever the hell. Fine. I'm all for it. And then you get something like Godzilla -1, and it's like, oh, now we're going back to the basics, and now we're going to modernize that basic concept of Godzilla, and we're going to do, we're going to bring that concept into now, and it fucking worked. And nobody, like you said, nobody bat an eye. Like you said, when it comes to even like the concept of like 3 different Spider-Men and all this kind of stuff, it's like, it just I mean, I remember even like with my ex, when she hadn't really no idea about some of this stuff, and when I was slowly introducing her into the MCU world, we didn't watch every MCU movie, because I was like, we don't need to watch that, we don't need to watch this, let's watch this, let's watch that. I picked and chose, and then when it came to Spider-Man, I'm like, all right, we're gonna go down a whole Spider-Man. She had seen the Tobey Spider-Man movies. She didn't see the Andrew Garfield ones. But then I was like, all right, we watched the first 2 Tom Holland ones, and then I was like, all right, but we're gonna go back and watch the Tobey ones, and then we're gonna watch the Andrew Garfield ones. And then I was like, we're gonna bring it, and I'm like, we're gonna go to No Way Home. Now, for all I know, she probably already knew what it was leading to, but she didn't tell me, because she was probably like being like, well, I'll be surprised. And maybe she already knew. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if she was just like letting me just like guide her. But at the same time, it was just kind of cool to be like, she didn't know about a lot of the stuff. And it was just, all it was just telling her and then showing. And she understood all of it.
She could pick up the pieces. Some people even like, oftentimes they're like, do I need to have seen? Do I have to seen previous movies, like for the Batman Part 2? People will be like, do I need to see Superman and Lanterns? No. And like, nope. Just if he is like, as long as you've seen the previous Batman film with the same guy that has that Nirvana song, and you might have seen the Penguin show, you're good. And they're like, all right, cool, I can go into this. Or if you're leaning into the big DC studio side, something is, I think I can only speak for myself. Sometimes the cool things is just when someone is interested in knowing, okay, what I need to know, what is this? I'm like, all right, break it down, make it simple, don't confusing, and have it enough. Be like, all right, I am gonna check out this new movie or so. Like that's what I'm excited for this year. Supergirl, Lanterns, and Clayface. Yeah. 3 different ballparks. I don't think a lot of them have to carry too much baggage into them, especially for general audiences. And for those who are, all of us here are geeks, we're gonna get a kick out of it. Like, ooh, I wonder what they're gonna pull from the books, or for the cartoons, why not? Or if it's an original idea, original story, let's see if they can stick the landing. Even though it's an IP that's been here since the 40s.
And I love it when my friends hit me up and go, hey, so what's going on with this? I love explaining it to them.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm like, hey, okay, sit down, let's have a chat. And then and then I even love it too when I see in my comment section where people might not know certain things about certain whatever. And they catch my video and be like, oh yeah, thank you for explaining that. Because again, they were like, I don't know about this. Let me look it up. They found my video and they were like, and they were appreciative of, hey, thank you for explaining this universe, what separates it from that universe, and why this Batman is, or something like that. I'll see that shit and I love that. But and I think we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. I know Ronan, you have to go, and we don't have too much else to talk about when it comes to all this stuff.
Okay.
But I wanted to get your opinion on The Boys. Did you watch The Boys?
Sadly, no. I know some crazy stuff does happen. I may have seen a frame or two of like someone getting hit, and I'm just like, oh snap.
Okay, because I know you're usually on like top of like that, so I figured, yeah.
I'm picky. Like I had to be. It was like I have enough trouble with Invincible right now. I'm like The Boys. I'll get to eventually. But I heard good stuff from season 5. I heard people really like season 5.
I will admit I only watched the first episode. I didn't watch the second one. I didn't realize they dropped 2, but I was kind of like, oh wow, the way that they started was a little more subtle than usual. It sets the tone for sure, but I was like going, oh, okay, this wasn't as crazy as some of the other season openers, but it definitely sets the tone. And then the first episode where you see where everybody's at, I was like, oh, okay. Cool. It's a good episode. It's definitely a good episode, and it ends like, oh, okay, here we go. And yeah, I can't wait to watch the second one. Yeah, okay. Did you watch any of it?
No, I am gonna take my time to get to The Boys. Last season didn't do it for me. Anthony Starr's performance stood out, and that was the only reason I watched. Yeah, but season 4 more so than any of them.
Yeah.
I just didn't grab me, so I'm gonna get around to watching it, but I'm just not rushing to do it. Because I realized that, like I said, the only reason I was watching that show was when he was on the screen, and the rest of it was just kind of blah for me.
He's front and center, of course, in this, but because he's going.
I do want to see how it ends, though, because it's
he's going through it. I mean, this first episode, he's just like something happens. I won't say what it is, but something happens where obviously it's it doesn't help his image and all this kind of stuff. And he's definitely going to be going through it where he's more losing his mind. I could tell they're setting up where he's just getting on that edge.
Who's the final showdown going to be? Because obviously it's not going to be Black Noir. I mean,
I don't know. That's what's going to be interesting.
Can't even spoil it for people because they've been changed that narrative.
Yeah, they're changing it off. So, all right, well, there's The Boys talk right here. But yeah, I think like I said, I knew it was going to be a short one tonight because there wasn't too much to talk about. Like I said, we got Cineacon next week, and we had a smaller panel this week. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. There's nothing wrong with that. But, the A-Train storyline is very interesting. Anyways, well, let's go around the horn and go ahead and promote. Ronan, I know you got to go first, so, because you got to check out. So go ahead and promote.
Oh, thanks, man. It was fun talking to you guys. You can follow me at Ronan Unchained on YouTube and all the socials. I'm covering Maul Shadowlord. That show, man, y'all just wait till we get into it each week. It's gonna be bonkers with episodes. Invincible, Daredevil Born Again. Each week I'm dropping my rewatch of the Mandalorian TV show up until the movie comes out. So maybe next week I might do something for Cineacon, TBD. And then Yeah, man. Just trying to bundle all these shows for now, and then wait till Noir next month. But yeah,
Right,
be looking forward to that stuff. Yeah, every Monday or Tuesday, I'll be doing a live stream talking about Maul.
Cool. I know. Yeah, Maul's coming out. Looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. William, what do you got?
We got our Daredevil watch parties every Tuesday. Got our show tomorrow. Got a couple things coming up interview-wise that I have to break down from WonderCon that I'll start publishing. Also, he's not here, but I still want you guys to search for him until you find him. Find Phil on Twitter.
Who?
Phil.
Oh, yeah.
He's out there.
You think
he's
got
like
a
Barry?
burner?
He's like Barry at BBS where he's coming through.
He's got a burner account somewhere.
He's not here tonight, man.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he wasn't feeling too. He had a long day, and he's got things to do tomorrow. So yeah, he wasn't here. And same with Balga. He had a long week, so he was too tired. So yeah, and even yeah, I mean, it was like I was looking for everybody. I was like, hey, yeah, you want to come on? You want to come on? And it was like, man, no. Even Paul was like, oh, man.
Chris, Paul.
Yeah, everybody. So, yeah, like I said, I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a short one tonight. I mean, I could see even Ghoul out there like, wait, it's already over? I'm surprised. I'm like, yeah, 3.
This is a record. This is going to be a record.
Yeah. Like I said, there wasn't like much to like go over. I mean, unless we were going to like totally dive into Daredevil and dive into like the casting stuff. But I mean, there wasn't really too much. We didn't go off too many tangents. So, yeah. So short one tonight, guys. Nothing wrong with that. I'll get a good night's sleep tonight.
Get your 8 hours or 9 hours.
Yeah, fuck. You know, when it's like a 5-hour one, and I'm fucking going to sleep at like 1. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now I'm gonna get a good one tonight. Hey, it happens. It happens, guys. No big deal. We'll be back next week. You know, and we'll. You know, I'm gonna try to get look and get some get back to getting some more guests on here to talk about things. So
nice.
We'll see what happens. But thank you, of course, William. Thank you, Ronan, and thank you, Taladia, for joining tonight. And yeah, guys, we love you. Hit that like, thumbs up, notification bell, subscribe if you haven't, and we will talk to you later.
See ya.